a man middle-aged and mean, chasing a dream that's never been. Filed another case, he's losing ground. Can't stop wheels from spinning round. He's got minions on his side, no prayer. Still fighting on, it's just a nightmare. Pull him up, you're making it worse. Endless motions, pocket full of curse. YouTube hits, but your soul's in chains. Protracting pain, multiplying shame. Pull him up, can't you see? You're drowning in your own hypocrisy. Every case is a money grab. Put it on the tube, that's the only tab. Litigation game, no need to win. Just drag it out and reel them in. Twist the law, break the rules. He's playing games, but he's just a fool. Pull him up, you're making it worse. Endless motions, pocket full of curse. YouTube hits, but your soul's in chains. Protracting pain, multiplying shame. Pull him up, can't you see? You're drowning in your own hypocrisy. Every motion's just for show. Filing papers, moving slow. Courtrooms a circus, all a game. But in the end, who is to blame? Sick of the noise, sick of the lies. The case is dead, he'll never realize. Pull him up, you're making it worse. Endless motions, pocket full of curse. YouTube hits, but your soul's in chains. Protracting pain, multiplying shame. Pull him up, can't you see? You're drowning in your own hypocrisy. On the case another day. Will the judge care the sky's gone gray? Pull him up, it's all a trap. You're digging your hole, fall in that gap. Pull him up, the time's all spent. Lost in the game, no way to repent. Mommy didn't love you enough, germ. Too bad, not sad. Pull him up. Pull him up.
Hello, everybody. What is happening? Hi, Tori. Kendra,
Hello.
what is going on?
How's everybody doing?
Happy Saturday. Woo woo. How'd you guys like that video song?
That was quite a long intro.
Yeah. Well, I figured I'd add some stuff to it. And I figured while you're out there creating Polymop, let's just show some things that we did along the way. Right? Why not? What is happening, everybody? Hello. Tori, you okay?
Yeah,
Oh, condition.
he's trying to whisper so you didn't hear him, and I muted so he could talk.
Oh, okay. Well, hello. What's going on, everybody? Hi, Harper, Pebs, Tammy B, Bonnie, Mindy, Sherry, Carol Crazy, hello, hello, Fluff Flut, John Caps is here, Jennifer W, Ray Bone Crasher, One Voice for You, hello, Babs, Bonnie Flutter, got you, Frank, Juliet, Sandra, Black Widow, Marielle, Bearded Fisherman, Ernie Boyd, oh my goodness. What's up, John Cook, Jennifer Shaw, Jenny B, Van Darren, Murky, hello, Betty, Terry. Terry's probably so happy Kendra's here. Mooshell, Julie Harmon, Lori J, Joan Hall, Victoria, Debbie, Oh my gosh, it's jumping. Ghost Lady. Hello, Ruth, Linda, Patty. Just gotta say hi to everybody. Georgia, Phyllis, Deborah Fox, Crimson Jezebel, Melody B. Hello, 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 everyone. Hi, George. Hey, hey. Where's Bud Light? Is Bud Light here? We went to the storage unit that we got, and I'm like, what is that? I'm like, oh, someone was drinking here, and I pick it up. I'm like, who's drinking? I'm like, oh, it's Bud Light, right on the camera. So I thought it was pretty funny. So I actually kept it for Bud Light. Noel Breeze, hello. Concerned Planet, hi. Carrie, Mama Mia, hello, hello. Dan, hello. Strat Lover, Nine Chins. Oh my gosh. So how you ladies doing today?
Doing okay.
Yeah. How you feeling, Kendra?
I'm just laying in bed. I've been watching about 6 hours of Kentucky Derby lead up
Oh my god.
to watch the race. I love the horses.
Oh my god, I love the horses too. We went to the storage unit first, and then he's like, you want to get some lunch? I'm like, oh yeah. So we went to this restaurant, I'll just say, and they had a bar and whatever. And so we're sitting there and they got TV all around, and I look up and I'm like, oh my god, they have harness racing on. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, oh my god, today's a Kentucky Derby. I didn't even know. So I was just watching, and there was a race getting ready, and I'm like, oh, who we, all right, let's see. I'm like, I'm going for Macho Music. It was 13-1. I'm like, I'm going for Macho Music, and sure as shit, that one came in. Gabe was so mad. He's like, man, we should have bet on that. I'm like, I can't believe that. I said, dude, I'm telling you straight up, I was my father's good luck charm. I was at the races with him all the time. You want to go harness racing and watching and betting or anything? I thought, let's go, because we'll be good at it. He couldn't believe it. But yeah, and then I almost missed it, the Derby, because I was doing all this stuff here, and then you were texting me. I was like, what is it on? You're like, 2 minutes. I'm like, oh, okay. So Gabe had picked that Baenza.
Beza.
Beza. And that was number 21, which was obviously my dad. So, but you were going for journalism or Sandman, because Metallica was there, right?
Yeah. In
Yeah.
fact, there was like they do questions and stuff before, and they're like, was this horse named because of the song from the band, or was it named from the pitcher on the Yankees?
Right.
And I was like, oh, good question. But
Right.
he was named for the song. What was I've been watching for weeks the lead up of these horses arriving at Churchill Downs,
Uh-huh.
and they're all so beautiful and like perfect and awesome.
Yeah.
But Sandman's gotten a lot of focus, and he's a beautiful gray horse. And this young kid, bought him for $1.2 million. And
Wow.
so there's been a lot of videos with him, and they always, play the song, which is one of my all-time favorite songs, hands down. So
Right.
um, when Metallica then sent the whole team, like all the people that work with this horse, which is like 30 of them, all
Right.
Metallica shirts, and they posed for a picture with Sandman, and he's looking at the camera, and they did all the things. It's a cool picture. Sent it back to Metallica. Then James Hetfield couldn't handle it. He had to show up and come meet this horse.
Really?
And so he came, and he was with somebody else. I don't recognize who it was. And they met the horse. They were feeding him, petting him, taking pictures. And like he did like that, the total like the devil horns with his hands, and made like that face and stuff. Like it was totally cool. He's a cool guy. He used to live around nearby where I live.
uh
And he was always known for being so sociable with everybody and just kind of like a cool guy and stuff. And I'm like,
Right.
oh, that's so awesome that he went there and he was there, for this horse. And he was like, no matter what this horse does, I'm honored.
Right. Right.
So it was kind of fun. There's this so much, and then it poured rain there.
Yeah, I know.
and that track was just mud. And then
Yeah.
all of the high
Which is
ranking
going to change
horses,
everything.
yeah, and all the
Yeah.
high ranking horses got pulled into the worst posts coming out of the gate.
Yeah.
So it was going to be a hard race for
Yeah.
everybody. But, nobody got injured. Everybody did
But yeah,
well,
that's good. Hey, Richard.
but Sovereignty won.
Yeah. Yeah. That I don't even know what the odds were for that one. I know that I think 21 Bayans, whatever. I think that was 13-1 odds too.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
like the top two were supposed to be Journalism and Sandman.
so it
And there
was
was an
Sovereign.
Italian jockey on Journalism. And when I found that out, I was like, okay, I'm good with either one.
um, yeah, and I'm like, well, we can go for journalism. It's good. We're all doing journalism these days, so let's go for journalism.
And,
But
and it was when they were walking out to go into their posts,
uh-huh,
when Journalism and Sandman came out and it was their turn, you could
uh-huh,
hear the roar in the crowd of them.
really.
Yeah. So when neither of them won, it was, I mean, it was loud, I'm sure, but I think the crowd would have been overwhelmingly loud because there was so much money bet on those two horses.
Right? Yeah,
I mean, you
yeah.
can bet on so many different angles of horse racing, specifically this race. If you can bet on who's going to come into what number, you can bet on time, you can bet on all kinds of very
Win,
specific things.
straight, box, exactas. Oh, I don't know if you could do exactas in that race, so I don't know. I don't know. I
And I
forget.
was,
You would think I would always remember the amount of times I was at OTB and stuff like that. I mean, my father,
well,
dang.
and then
I
the day
think,
before was all the mare races, and I'm watching them and I'm like following names and I'm like, okay, I'm getting too into horses if I'm knowing who's sire and who's mare's who. And
yeah. Well, it's funny because I've been watching Katie Van Syke, right? And so I've been watching a lot of horses lately, not racing, but just watching a lot. I love horses. I always did, even
right,
though
and
like, I'm never
as
around
you
them.
she just went to Ocala to
Yeah,
the WEC, and
that place is huge, Kendra.
yes, it is. It's massive, massive. And
Nickelback's actually playing there.
they would talk about different horse names, who won what, and then I realized, oh, wait a minute.
The
She
super
will
factory. Yeah.
talk about like recent mares and embryo, and this one's carrying with her horses and like goody goody gumdrops and different things. I'm like, hold on, one of them babies she currently has is a goody goody gumdrop mommy over there. Like I was starting to follow the lineage in that part of the horse world, which is quarter horses. I'm like, oh, I'm getting good at this. I know these things, but
What did I say? I heard Megan Fox hit the trifecta on the Kentucky Derby. She had inside information because she has a horse race. Richard.
so
Spain,
now the next
on. I see
big
you.
horse race to watch is for Preakness and Belmont Stakes.
Right.
And
Wait a minute. That's the next one?
yeah, it goes to Preakness and Belmont, and then you get the all three. So that's what the three races are. So a lot of these horses we're going to see in the same race. Not all of them, but
Wow. The Triple Crown.
so Sovereignty will be going for that trifecta there. But I'm still going to root for my other fellas.
Wow. Triple Crown, baby. Yeah. I'm excited. I think what we need to do, though, Kendra, is once the cruise is all decorated and stuff, we need to go and buy ourselves a baby. Let's get
Yeah,
ourselves a horse.
I know.
I think
That's
we
what
should do that.
that's what I was saying. We
Yeah.
need our own horse.
Yeah. You know what we're going to name her, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This covers Megan Fox. Mason Horsey son. Richard. Oh my God. Read my comment, Lisa. Terry, where are you? Hold on. Hey, Strictly. Kevin Jays, what's up? I emailed you, Kendra. Is that what you wanted me to say? A special sauce, Richard. Oh my goodness. You know what? I actually went back and that whatever video that was the other day, I said I only watched half of it. I did go back and watch the rest of it, but I'm going to wait till tomorrow night to even talk about that because I can guarantee you he's going to say the same exact shit tomorrow night. So I'm not even going to go there. But there's a lot of stuff going on. A lot of cases happening. A lot of filings getting ready to be filed. And some of these people on the Minion side aren't going to be too happy. But there is a case that's been going on, and it's getting pretty crazy, which everybody knows is the Karen Reed trial. So Kendra knows all about that. And so let's talk about that for a minute. So for those of you who don't know, because I know like she's obviously on trial for murdering her boyfriend. I know bits and pieces of things that have happened, but not a timeline and, you know, where it all happened. So Kendra can totally fill us in because Kendra like knows this whole thing.
Oh my God, I don't know the whole thing, but like every day there is new info that comes out and you're just like, what the fuck? It's like so Jerry Springer with just all the people involved had a messy family and shenanigans going on themselves before any of this happened. And so now you take messy people and you put them together in this, and oh my God. It's
Gymnasium says the Commonwealth doesn't know the timeline either.
Okay, and now let me just start off with this, and you can think I'm a turd or whatever, I don't care. But I live in 2025 in America, in the state of California. And when we have things and we say stuff like the Commonwealth and magistrate, it drives me bonkers because no, we got police, we got court, we got judges. This is not 1785. We're not wearing white rolled wigs like George Washington style. What the fuck is a magistrate? It drives me nuts.
Magistrate's the junior judge.
Yeah, I know, but it's like in the Commonwealth. I thought we departed from the UK. Why would such a place as Boston, Massachusetts? But whatever. I know how it is on the East Coast. I've always had a weird thing about the names that just stuck because of tradition. I know, I get it, but it bugs because it's like, what the heck? But it's fine. What's wrong with Frank's comment, please? Flutter stopping.
I got email yesterday from YouTube that one of Germ's vids was removed that I reported. Oh, yeah? Good for you. You got lucky on that. Which one was it? They don't normally remove unless it's a copyright strike. They'll do that immediately. We learned that. And then you get to get a counter, and then you get to sue. It's going to be so much fun. So much fun. From the 25th? Really? I wonder if I have it. What was it removed for, Frank? Terry emailed you again, Kendra.
Okay. I honestly haven't even looked at my
What was
email.
the reason anyway? Ow! Sorry, I just hurt myself. In the meantime, go ahead, Kendra.
So, well, what do you know? Like, where does this all start for you? How'd this all
Well, I know
begin?
that like with the tail light. All right, cool.
So, like,
Thanks,
start
Frank.
from how does the events start?
Okay, so they were all out drinking, right? They're all out drinking. They come home. Something happened where she was leaving or something, And next thing you know, the guy's dead, and she supposedly killed him, but yet there were people still there. There's a dog that supposedly bit him.
Okay. So hold off. Well, we gotta
I'm
look.
like
We got
lost.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hold. We got back. So a bunch of friends
Mm-hmm.
who are all various types of sergeants, detectives, chiefs of police of Canton Police, suburb outside of Boston, went out drinking to a bar. They got done with that bar. They all went to the next bar. Every single one of these people were drunk. Were they all cops and too drunk to drive? Yeah, absolutely. Did they do it anyway? Absolutely. In fact, they brought drinks. They took the cups, the glasses from the bars with them home. They had to drink and drive on their way home. So I
Mm.
feel
That's
like
all
the
allowed though, because they're all,
cops,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
I guess. So I feel
Mm-hmm.
like on a side tangent, they all need to be busted for that, but that's irrelevant to this case.
Right.
Um, so then afterwards, it's now 12:30 at night or so. They aren't done with their drinking and they need to go back to one of the family members' homes, one who's the head guy, chief of police, one could say.
Mm-hmm.
He's been 30 years on the force. He's head of like the gang unit, all these things. And he's a known asshole. He
Uh-huh.
has been many incidences. Well, he was different levels of policing. He had issues with other police members, fist fights, lots of things. In fact, there's 10 notable events that happened in his career where he lost his cool, did wrong things, punching people out.
Uh-huh.
Usually it's mixed with drinking. Side
Huh.
note,
Okay.
tuck that in your pocket. And
Mm-hmm.
so that's the owner of the home that they all decided to go back and continue the party at.
Right.
His name, his last name is Albert. So there's Albert. We'll call him Albert One right now.
Right.
Then he has two brothers, Albert Two, Albert Three.
Okay.
Those fellas also happen to be detective. Like the whole family's in the force. The whole family's in different levels of policing, we'll say.
Right.
And they have a friend, Brian. He's in the DEA. He's present for this event. And their wives.
I can't believe she's on there.
Hmm?
I
And
hear your voice, Kendra.
William just said, "Where's Gabe? Can we nickname him Candyman?"
I'm the candy man.
Go ahead, Kendra. Go ahead.
so these are all the types of people that are going back to this house. Now, these people, like the Alberts, they have children who are mostly grown children.
Mm-hmm.
So they are in their early 20s, late teens. It happens to be the birthday celebration of Colin Albert.
Okay.
So now we have the people who own, the couple that own the home, a
Right.
wife and a husband. The wife has a sister. The sister's married to a different named person, the McCabe's.
Mm-hmm.
So they're
That's where the
related,
secret comes from.
but
Okay.
this is where all the different last names kind of come into play. So just trying to set it up so everybody can follow without throwing in all the names and titles because that gets it crazier.
Mm-hmm.
That man that she married, he has nothing to do with any police, detective, legal. He's a IT guy. So he's not he does other business. They make a lot of money. They have a lot of money. They're well off and her children are a little bit younger. Okay, fine. So but her sister is married to the head dude, the owner of the house. So they're
Right.
all these wives and husbands are all really tight. They were all born and raised in Canton. They all went from kindergarten to school together and stayed in the same classes all the way through. These people know each other extremely well, are extremely tight. Red flag number one. Small
Right.
town people, you are the outsider, and then they happen to run the show legally. Okay, tread on, light water there, but whatever. So
Mhm.
enter John O'Keefe, who dies this night. He's not exactly in this group. He's a cop, and he sniffed out this child who was 17 at the time, Colin Albert, one of the children,
Mhm.
that he's a drug dealer. He's
Oh.
also a punk. He's also like a punk ass bitch on his Instagram and Facebook and things. He's always like, "Oh yeah, I can fuck him up," and rah rah blah blah. He's that kind of kid, right?
Uh-huh.
So okay, he's a pain in the ass, and all these other very good besties need to protect this child because they've gotten wind of the fact that John O'Keefe has video footage, audio footage, receipts for the wrongdoings that Colin's doing. And now there's going to be confrontation because John and Karen are on their way back to this house. And they know Colin's there, and this is now going to be a problem. Now, this is where we all have to speculate, alleged, we don't know, opinion, whatever you want to say. At this point, none of this part's fact, but there's video footage at the bar before they all exited
Mhm.
showing something's already gone wrong. There's people holding other people back who seem to want to step forward and confront. There's pointing and gesturing and the across the bar, and then the other person at the end of the bar is like, "Yeah, come on, do it, fucker, do it." Like, you see there's something gone array. Everybody calms down, they all leave the bar. Like, not here, not now, not in public. We don't know what they're saying. This is opinion part here. But you can tell from eyeballs and seeing, you understand something's not right.
Right.
All of them have been interviewed numerous times. They all say, "Nah, we don't know what you're talking about." Of course not.
Right.
So now we don't also know, perhaps maybe people are mad with John O'Keefe, and John O'Keefe is mad with some of the guys because one of the guys was flirting with um, Karen Reed in text.
Brian Higgins.
Yeah.
Okay.
So people speculate maybe that had something to do with what the aggressiveness was we saw in the video. Again, we don't know. All speculation, alleges, whatever. So we finally can all arrive at this house. This house had ended up having upwards of like 12 to 15 people in it at one point, and a lot of people doing drive-bys and whatnot. All very odd things started to happen.
Mhm.
And just another, not factual, but according to people in the town and everybody who knows the people, again, allegedly, this tight knit little group is also a little bit of swingers. So they all know each other maybe rather really well. We don't, I don't
Wow.
know.
Admittedly swinging.
Well, again,
I mean, has that come up in court?
these are all alleged reports that have all been denied, but yet the people that are all friends and other anonymous people on forces and things have said, no, 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 no. This is a well-known fucking fact with this group of fuckers.
Right.
This
It's
group of
speculation.
fuckers, right. This group of fuckers is just that. Everybody knows, don't bother with them. They're biggest pain in your ass you'll ever have. But John O'Keefe had to fucking, fire up his ass to fuck with these people for some reason. So he continued on.
Right.
And Karen is now not from that area in the same way that even John was from that area. And she's certainly not in this group. And she was certainly not welcomed into this group because she's an outsider and they don't like the outsiders to begin with.
Right.
And if you see her in her natural person, I'm going to just say this, hate me for being mean, you can see where she's not the most easily likable person.
Right.
She's got a
She
hard
kind of has that
personality.
like bitch face. You know what I mean?
Right. And
Uh-huh.
she's loud, she's abrasive, she's, and she's very tall, very slender, probably thinks who she is. She exudes a lot of that. And I can see where she's not the easiest person to like and get along with.
But the
So
fact is,
whatever.
she is still an outsider, and that's probably why they're trying to blame her for it.
Right.
Depending on
So it's like she didn't have a lot on her side, so to speak, right? But also
Mhm.
before they left in the video footage of this bar, you can see the other wives, the other women trying to get her to come with them. They for some reason, we don't know, trying to separate her from John O'Keefe that night. And again, we
Huh.
don't understand why, but again, speculative people have said maybe because they were trying to get John to that house alone, independent of her, for a reason. Maybe this was somehow a pre-planned event. I don't know. A confrontation about the Collins situation. Again, all speculation. Allegedly, we don't know, but it's all kind of come up. So it gets real messy here. She denies that. She gets in the car. He gets in the car. It is her car. She is driving. They arrive
Right.
at the house. Because of this, she's not comfortable. She's not sure she's really invited to go in, or were they both even invited? What is really going on? She's also heard the rumors about the Hainsey, things that may go on with this group of people. So she's not real sure about going into this house because they're not into that. So John says something to the effect of, let me go and find out. I'll come right back at you, or whatever the fuck. And he leaves the car, never to be seen again by absolutely any of these people, but ends up dead on the front lawn hours later when he's found.
Uh-huh.
So she knows he got out of the car, went to the door. She saw him. Now, this house has two front doors because it had an addition. There's just the way that it is designed. So that's fine. And there's a third entrance with a basement cellar, but that's behind a fence on the side of the house. But okay, irrelevant, sort of. She sees him go to a specific door. She waits a minute, two, three. She's like, what the fuck? How long does it possibly take? She starts to get pissed. Now, mind you, her and he had already been arguing in the day. So she was already at her wits' end with him, type of a thing. We all know how that is. Add to the fact that they were all drinking. Okay, you see her spinning pretty fast, getting pissed. So
Right.
she texts him to no response. So she calls him again. He ain't answering. Now she's like, you motherfucker, leaving me out here, but all that kind of stuff. Because again, she's that personality. And
Right.
so she goes, fuck it, and leaves to go back home to his house where his kids are.
Mm.
So she does. So she, bye bye, boom, she drives away. Now, the mileage, the time, all of those things have been analyzed, scrutinized ad nauseum. How long did it take her to get back to the house? Her arrival, cameras watching, all the things. He had a bunch of cameras at his house. You can see her car enter. She enters the garage, parks the car, closes the door, goes in the house, and she's fuming. She's steamed. What the fuck? He still isn't answering. So now she's leaving very pissed off, fuck you voicemails. Now, I'll be honest, not exactly in this type of situation, but I've done that kind of thing before when I'm like, where the fuck are you? Did you, and Gary will admit he fell asleep and I'm fucking blowing up his phone. Like, what the fuck? You're not answering. So I've done my share of fuck you voicemails. So that's what she proceeds to do to him, which, they all go to voicemail. But in it, there's some key things that she says, like, you fucking pervert. What are you doing in there? Like, she's sort of giving hints about this possible sexiness that could be occurring, right?
Right.
So that because she's just spinning. She has no fucking clue. No fucking clue. So it's just stuff she's heard. These people don't like her, all the things. She's throwing it out in voicemail. So her voicemails aren't very helpful, but they're not damning in any way. They just don't help her personality. So hours go by and she's like, something's fucking wrong. He didn't come home. He hasn't reached out. Now she's panicked. So she goes through the panicking and she starts to contact the other women who she feels are maybe her friends. They're starting a relationship, whatever. She's not really sure, but whatever. They have to know because she knows they were inside that house and she saw him go in the house. And so what happened to him? Maybe they know.
Right.
So there's some texting back and forth, phone calling back and forth. Of somehow, eventually, all the women meet up to go look for him. Fine. in the middle of the night, or it's almost morning, in this blizzard that's approaching. They're out in the car and they are looking for him. And there's dispute back and forth about, I left him at the bar, you left him at the bar, no, I left him at the house, I saw you pull up to the house. Okay, that's all part of the trial of who claimed where they last saw him and where they all were. I guess these, so that's important to the trial, but not important to explain right now. So they have that.
Why would she do all that if she killed him?
Right. So they finally
That's
end up
peculiar
back at the
optics.
house, which is 34 Fairview. We all have the fucking address memorized right now. And now Jen McCabe, her, and Carrie are all in this car, and they pull up to the house. And the first one to spot him on the lawn is Karen, who starts to scream, oh my God, there he is. Let me out of the car. So, but
Right.
the car was still rolling. The door was locked. She couldn't get out of the car. She's freaking on the door, like kicking at the door. So immediately she's going into panic mode. Now, these other women take her panic and her trauma moment here and her height of crazy she went into and just try and make her sound like a complete and utter lunatic. Now, a lot of psychologists have analyzed all of this and they're like, she's having a very traumatic response. Actually, none of that is abnormal. We all will react differently in various ways. And this woman, I believe, in my opinion, she realized she was all alone. Nobody was on her side. And here she sees her boyfriend in distress and nobody seemingly to care. And I've in my previous job as a social worker, like I've been in these situations with people and some people have over the top reactions, and yes, it is fucking annoying. Yeah, they're loud and they're crazy, and yeah, but it carries on when nobody is there to help them, to validate them, to help soothe them, to help bring them down back to a place of more, let's cool it a little bit. Nobody's
Right.
doing that to her. They're yelling at her to shut the fuck up. That is never helpful, just tidbit. So, in complete chaos now ensues outside on this front lawn. And screaming of three women back and forth about how to help them, call 911, get blankets. All this stuff happens. The car is left on the side of the road there, it's idling. And the 911 gets called, 911 shows up. There's a total of 3 police cars, an ambulance, and a fire truck that all pull up to this house eventually. All of them have their lights on. And all of the neighbors start to come out because all these vehicles are loud. You got radios
Right.
going off. They're all idling. They're outside of your, like, people, it's 6 a.m. People are, what the fuck, standing out there. The 2 people, husband and wife, the Alberts, owner of the house, they're in their bed, in their bedroom, which faces the front of the house, and they don't hear anything. They don't come out. They don't make any phone calls. They do nothing. They heard nothing. They sleep through it. Now, he's a trained first responder. Death is
Right.
on his front lawn, and it doesn't wake him up. He's not alerted to that. That's
Yeah, it
fucking
doesn't make
weird.
sense.
First responders are usually pretty responsive by nature. They're used to it. And as a cop, what the fuck's happening on my front lawn? Like just that
Right.
attitude. But
Yeah.
no. He claims he slept through it. They also have the dog, the German Shepherd, that barks at everything. Was silent. Guess she was zonked from all the alcohol too. I don't know. Or was she even there anymore? That's up for debate. So nobody goes to the house. The house does not come alive. Nothing happens. And as Karen Reed's lawyer just said to Jen McCabe, who was standing there making the 911 call, your sister lives in that house and no lights are going on, no doors are opening, nobody's coming out. And you've now called her twice and she didn't answer. Her husband, your brother-in-law, is a known person to capture lots of bad guys, high up bad guys, and has been
Right.
threatened and attacked and all the things. Are you not concerned something perilous has occurred inside of this house because there's a dead body outside, perhaps? And what is the, health of your sister and your brother-in-law at this point? Because there's no signs of life from inside that house. And you're not at all concerned. She
Right.
said, no, she wasn't concerned. She figured they were fine. Like, okay, fucking weird, but okay. And eventually she goes to the house, to the door to go into the home, but this is a bit after the fact. And then she enters quietly and goes up to the room to get them. And they said, why were you not screaming out their names? Why were you not screaming help? Why were you not screaming, are you okay? And she says, well, I didn't want to go into the house making a lot of noise. And I'm like, first of all, he's a cop. You're sneaking into his house. He has a gun. I would
Right.
make myself well known yelling their names and they could recognize, oh, we recognize that voice. We're hearing our own names. So I don't get shot at. But
Right.
okay, forget all of my brain sense. She goes into this house and she didn't want to cause them any alarm and make them wake up to thinking something horrible had happened. She just said that on the stand this week. So the lawyer fought back and said, but something horrible was happening out on the front lawn. What more horrible thing do you need to have happen to run in screaming, oh my God, our friend, a fellow police officer, is dying on your front lawn?
Right.
And she's like, well, I just didn't want to give them a heart attack.
Uh,
Okay. Like, again, the answers to some very simple things that we all as human beings feel like we would naturally do.
right.
Also,
Right.
let's just note the 911 call. When she called, she specified there's a man on the lawn. There's a man passed out in the snow. He's dying. I think he's dead. She gives the address and she has to repeat herself twice because they had to transfer her call. So she gives the address, but then she says to the dispatch, it's the Albert residence. Like, this is whose house this is. You better know what you're doing, because her tone changed. And that's how her tone sounded, in my opinion, and in many others as well. And so you hear dispatch say, okay. She does not say the man on the lawn's name, who is John O'Keefe, a fellow police officer. She doesn't say police officer down. She don't say nothing about, because it's true and it's just a fact. First responders respond faster to their own people.
Right.
They
Right.
just do.
Yeah.
It's a thing. We have to accept it.
Yeah.
And so you're on the phone with 911, not saying a fellow police officer is down, appears to be dying on the front lawn of another police officer. Get your fucking asses here, because all these women talk like this. And that's not what she's doing. That's odd, but okay. All these calls are recorded. We've heard them all, the video, the dash cam, all of it is available and out there to be seen.
Can we just
And
pause for a second?
yeah,
At this day and age, do we know what caused this ruckus at the bar that they all kind of was holding people back and stuff, and what this argument was about?
right. We don't know that because this bar happened to have a shitty old camera that's positioned far away from the event that happened. So you have to zoom into it. And
But no
there's not,
witnesses have said anything about it.
no, not a soul knew anything about any of this. And these people say that they were just playing.
Yeah,
Because
okay.
they had to, when they were on the stand, they had to be shown the video to say, doesn't that look like you're about to hit somebody? Doesn't that look like you're pointing out at somebody? Like, come here, fucker, come get, like, doesn't it look
Right.
like that? They go, oh, we were playing. No, you weren't.
Lana.
You fucking weren't. So now, mind you, so when back to the girls, now, when they pulled up, Karen gets out of the car. She runs over to him. Carrie, who was the driver in her vehicle, she had been trying to call John O'Keefe's phone because they were all still trying to find him, get a hold of him, whatever. As they pulled up to the house, she had called and dialed. And once they stopped the vehicle to get out because they saw the body, she dropped her phone in the back seat of the car. Now,
Okay.
she had dialed John O'Keefe. who obviously is dead, he cannot answer. But she
Right.
didn't end that call when the voicemail started because she had jumped out of the vehicle. So the voicemail collected audibly everything that was then said after. You can hear the ruckus, you can hear the chaos
Mm.
because his voicemail recorded it all. You hear
Oh.
Karen screaming, begging them for help. You hear Carrie yell to Jen, get blankets, call 911. Jen was the most controlled of the three women, and she was doing the 911 calling. And other than her not reporting there was a police officer, her call was fine. There wasn't anything odd until she stayed in the car after she got off 911 because we have every second of phone calling of all these phones and things. She hangs that up, immediately calls her sister. We have confirmation phone records say this.
Mm-hmm.
Her sister does not answer, is what she says. She calls her back again. Again, sister does not answer the phone. Now, mind you, the sleeping couple who keeps their phones on their bedsides because they want to be available in case anything ever happens, it slept right through these phone calls. But, anyways, so you go, okay, except, there's not maybe so much truth to that because that phone in the back seat's recording her and she don't know it.
Uh-huh.
And she calls her sister, and she had been talking in a normal voice, regular speaking tone voice in the car to 911, hung up. You can count to 12 because they put a timer on there. 12 seconds happens where she's disconnected, goes, let me call my sister. It rings, it rings, it rings, it rings. And then you hear her whisper, somebody's coming out front. And then it's clicked off because they have the exact timestamp on John O'Keefe's voicemail to the phone records of when she hung up that call. So either she left that voicemail for her sister or her sister picked it up. She said what she had to say. She hung up the phone. All of that lines up with all the calls being disconnected.
Huh.
So you go, huh, that's odd. Why would you
Uh-huh.
whisper someone's coming? What to help? What? Why would we be? And so you got to think, I try to think of it like, okay, what would I be doing? Sometimes I talk to myself and I'm like, okay, it's fine. This is fine. We got to, okay, like you self-talk, So
Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah.
maybe she was doing that. Odd though that she was quiet to herself for 12 seconds, then lowers her tone and whispers it ever so slightly to herself while
Uh-huh.
these two other banshees are out there screaming like, why you gotta if I self-talk, I'm gonna be in my regular voice. Really, I'm not gonna go down to a whisper while I'm holding the phone making a call. But
Right.
my opinion of that, I mean, also many other people's opinion is, what the fuck she say? Who's she warning about what happening?
Right, right.
Suspicious. So eventually EMTs show up, the cops are there, all the people. They had tried the CPR and all the things. He was bleeding from the head because he had a cracked skull, and he had some lacerations on his arm. He was outside in pants and a hoodie in very, very frigid weather. He had one shoe off, one shoe on, and his hat was off of his head, but it was all right by him. So, okay, they take him away, and all of this interviewing stuff happens. There's car movement. They're in the back of a squad car. They're out of the car. Like, there's a lot of chaos that ensues. And goes on for about an hour, and it's all very much broken down into, who did you talk to first? Do you remember talking to this person, that person? They all don't remember very specifically which order they spoke to which cop, which again is understandable. Nobody's really questioning that too much because it was very stressful, chaotic. But everybody's in agreement Karen was losing her mind.
Right.
The most damning part of this whole moment is it somehow, again, now we're getting this footage and audio at this point from a dash cam out of a police car, so it's not able to clearly pick up, follow people around, movement, what's being said. It's suggested, it's maybe stated or maybe she brings it up herself, but this is where Karen Reed starts to do the, oh my God, did I hit him phrase, which is under complete scrutiny. If I hit him, did I hit him? Could I have hit him? Oh my God, I did hit him. Like all the variants of saying that sentence are
Uh,
now under huge discussion because sounded like somebody maybe suggested to her and then she went, oh my God, could I have done that? Because
right,
now she's like going, could I have? She's who she thinks are her friends supporting her, saying such a thing to them, like, oh my God, no. And you can hear that in her voice where she's saying, like, holy shit, could I have done this? This
right,
is the most damning thing for her, obviously. But again, if you had done it and you knew it, you ain't going to stand there saying you did it.
right,
But so but you see her, she's frantic. She's running at people, freaking out. She's just trying to get him help. She's just all over the place. So eventually, everybody gets taken away from this crime scene to go to the police station, to go to the hospital, all the stuff. And everybody leaves. Nobody closes off this house as a crime scene. They don't do it. They rule 101. They've broken of this investigation. No, so anybody can tamper with it. Anybody can walk up upon it. It's not being guarded, nothing. Hours later, they come back to start it, and they don't have proper evidence procedures going on because they're using those red Solo cups you drink beer out of at a party.
right,
And they're using that to capture all their evidence. That's what they use to capture the blood from him. And they put it in a ShopRite bag, which is a brown grocery bag. That's the name of a local grocery store in the area.
right.
Again, not at all proper evidence collecting procedures whatso fucking ever. But this
And
is
they're
what
off to do
this
this.
is what they did, right? And you're like, okay. And the
They
lead
don't know how to
detective,
collect evidence properly.
they the lead detective in this time from this event till now has been investigated on this event and has been terminated from his job because of this and because of the things that he said in text to other officers about the case that all came out in court. And basically saying Karen's a nut job. Don't worry about her. She's a nobody. She's a fucking wackadoodle. She's a motherfucking cunt.
Oh
These
my
are
God.
all things that were said out loud in court that they had to read off of their own texts about her. So you get the feeling, you get the gist that this police group is pinning it against her. She's nothing with the, don't worry about her. Who gives a shit about her? Fuck her.
Right,
And so nothing was collected properly. This investigation was not done right in any sense of the word. Her car ends up at her parents' house later on in the day, where it's eventually towed to the police station because maybe it's evidence. Fine, great. We have video footage of the car being towed. Great. The car arrives via tow truck to the Sallyport garage, the police garage, and unloading of it in there. It's all on video. Fabulous. So when they asked for the video, they sent that video inverted. Well, why?
why?
What were you trying to hide on the other side of the vehicle?
Right.
And then why also is it edited? Because you see people standing, walking, moving, and then it suddenly changes and the people are gone and different people are standing there. You've clearly edited this video.
They edited the video?
Well, unless ghost people showed up and other people went invisible instantaneously while you're watching it, what else could it be?
Right, right, right.
Also, you see the detective crouch down to the corner passenger side of her vehicle doing something to a tail light. I don't know what. Nobody knows what.
Wow.
But she had a cracked tail light. Suspicious. Sure is.
Right.
But maybe not, because when she pulled out of the garage at John O'Keefe's home previously, his car was in the driveway, and it's a very specific type of, you have to pull out and do basically like a 3-point turn to get out of there. And his
Uh-huh.
car had been sticking out and she tapped his car. You can see where that back corner bumped his car. And she
Uh-huh.
knew it, and they knew it. It had happened earlier, and she had a cracked tail light. And on the tail light, you have a little bit of a white or clear light, and then you have the red,
Uh-huh.
and it was the white part. But that's okay. Maybe that's irrelevant. Maybe it matters all the I don't know. So nobody's thinking too much of this, except now in the Sallyport garage, they're saying, oh, no, 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 no. This taillight, the red part, it's all busted up into 48 fucking different pieces. That was a big hit of something. And she's going, no, the fuck it wasn't. It absolutely wasn't. So how do we figure this out? Is there footage anywhere else of this taillight being intact? Well,
Right.
they go, what was the route she drove home from that moment? Let's get every piece of fucking camera footage we can. Well, apparently nobody has cameras, nobody had the footage or was able to give it up or whatever until she comes to a main road and she was at a stoplight and they know because she has a newer car and it has computers and it can tell you all the deets of your car movement. And she's at this stoplight for like 2 minutes in front of the Canton Library. Great. They have a camera, boom, right out front on the street at that. We are going to see this taillight was there or not. Because if it's not there, it should have been all white, correct? All the red's
Right.
missing. So they go, oh, we will definitely help you. Here is 12 hours straight of our footage of that camera. Fabulous. They get it. They watch you the whole fucking thing. And in the 2 minutes that she pulls up to that stoplight, guess what happened? The film footage was not there. You can see the timestamp, the time to the second, the date, hour, minute, second. And then all of a sudden it glitches, I guess. And now we've fast forwarded 2 minutes in time and we can't get her car. It messed up.
Wow.
It messed up in that exact moment when her car went by, so we can't see the tail light.
Go
And it would
figure.
have been positioned right on that back end of her car. But it's missing from the footage and nobody knows why or how. So you start to
Interesting.
go, why is there so much fucking little weird things along the way? Like this is all being strange and not adding up.
Right.
So, and we have the footage of her entering when she arrived at John's house. We have so many records all along the way, but yet we all the parts that we really need seem to be fucking missing. So when
Right.
they're investigating at the house, they're looking for stuff. They don't find any of this stuff. It took them a total of 2.5 days to find all of the red taillight broken pieces at the crime scene on the front lawn of that house because they say, well, there was snow. I'm like,
Huh.
move the snow, dig through it. They had a blower. You got shovels. Like, you look for it. No, it
Right.
took them that long to find them because, again, allegedly, opinionly, I'm making that word up. Um, that you could be sprinkling it as you supposedly collected it because, we had to get that into the Sallyport garage first. We had to break out the taillight. We had to sprinkle it around. Sort of sounds like that could be the case. But, we don't know, allegedly. So it takes them all this time. It shouldn't have. The area wasn't sealed off. They collected evidence wrong. They've inverted cameras. Nobody else has camera footage. The only one they can get is missing the time that she happens to be on the fucking camera. Like, it's all getting very suspicious.
Right.
And the interviewing process went on ad nauseum amongst every single person who was in that house. Who left at what time? Who'd you leave with? In what vehicle? Did you see a body on the lawn? Everybody left that house. Nobody saw a body on the lawn. Okay, great. So that should help Karen Reed. There was no body. Was her car there? Nope, it was not. But there had been a younger gal in the house who had called her brother to come pick her up. She was done for the evening. And her brother and his friends show up in the car. This is what she says. And she decided that she changed her mind and she was going to stay. So he pulls up with his friends and he gets annoyed with her. You make me come all the way out and now you don't want to leave. What the fuck? Bop, bop, bop. Okay, great.
Right.
But that's 3 more witnesses. Did you see John O'Keefe? No, we didn't see him anywhere. Did you see a man on the lawn? No, we did not. Did you see Karen Reed in the car? Why, yes, we did. We were there and pulled up and saw her in her vehicle parked out front. Great. Was she alone in the vehicle? Yes, she was. Did you see a body on the lawn as you turned your heads as you drove by and looked? Right there. No, we did not. So that does mean he must have gone into the house. Where else did he go? The invisible man.
Right.
So they unknowingly became some star witnesses for her. But just to back it up a bit, why were they really there with the whole why did you want me to come pick you up and now you're not leaving bit?
Right.
Was more of a exchange through the window with the hands of, maybe one would say, rugs.
Right.
Some people say that and use that word. So that's more likely what was happening there. But again, irrelevant to this story. Just a side note. We openly know that happens at this house. Everybody knows that. So, okay, fine. So as the night went on, though, and all these different people left, nobody fucking saw a thing. The plow comes through because now the blizzard has started. The plow guy gets on the stand and he's like, I didn't see no body. I didn't see Karen Reed's car. There was no cars on that side of the street. I come down this side of the street. We have to hear all about how the plow works, his fucking route, the whole thing. It takes forever. And he scoops away the snow. He didn't see nothing. Nothing was to be seen. But he noticed a Ford Edge in the driveway of that car. He's been on this road many times. He's seen that car in that driveway many times. It's somebody who lives in that house's car. Fabulous. A couple hours later, he has to come back down on the other side of the street. Here he comes again. And he notices now that Ford Edge is not in the driveway, but it is now parked on the street. He thinks, well, this is odd. In the middle of the night, in the middle of the blizzard, why are you moving your car? But shit happens. Doesn't think too hard about it but you notice it.
Right.
So he goes on his merry way. So that's another weird thing. Like why like whatever time it was, did you move a car in the middle of the night? Maybe because I don't know. Opinions, speculation, people have said that you were placing a body in the car from the garage to drive it out to the front to place it on the lawn. So that's why you moved vehicle. Maybe that's why. Maybe, I don't know. So lots of other things have like kind of come up about it and stuff like that. And like I said, it's just the one woman who's been on the stand for 3 days, when she first came back and she had on a giant cross on a giant rope, like, oh, and it's like full of diamonds, and she has these giant diamond rings. Like, they have money. But it was like, lady, maybe you don't wear all that when you're going to court and you're already like the most hated witness right now. And so people
Uh,
were getting all mad at her wearing this cross. And so I would comment, hey, it's just the cross she has to bear, folks. Let her wear it. You know, just let her have it. That's the least of our stress right now. And part of why also these people hate this woman is we all can't agree on her phone usage abilities. And if you ever go to Google, you Google something, you go back to it. Can you sometimes see your previous Google, what you Googled? It pops right up because I can. It happens. It doesn't always happen though. I don't question it. I don't know why. I don't know. Maybe I've erased it. Maybe I've done so many other fucking searches. Maybe I don't know. I'm not into the phones like that. But we had to get phone analysts who knew all about that. We had to get 2 of them who had 2 different stories about how Google search works on Jen McCabe's phone, because at 2:30 in the morning, she may or may not have Googled how's long to die in the cold. And I say it hows because she misspelt how and put HOS. So now it's sort of a joke. How's long to die in cold? So at
wait,
2:30
wait,
in the
wait,
morning,
wait. Karen texted that?
no, Jen McCabe.
Oh,
So,
okay.
and Jen McCabe is with Matt McCabe, her husband, and their 2 little rugrats back at their own house should be sleeping at 2:30 in the morning, but she couldn't sleep for some reason. I forget her reasoning, but she couldn't sleep that night. And so she was looking up her kids are in sports, so some of the sports stuff, whatever it was. And that's what she says she was doing. But then they say, well, but when we pull it up, you've actually Googled how long before getting hypothermia, how's long to die in the cold. And it says you did this at 2:37 a.m. Why would you do that when you did not yet know that John McCabe was laying out in the cold? Seems like an odd thing to fucking Google out of nowhere. So that's why we need these data analysts to analyze the phone and how Google works and Google tabs and all the things. And one analyst says that no, she fucking Googled it. She did not Google it at 6 o'clock in the fucking morning when they were there and all the panic was breaking out and whatever. And some of the other analysts says, it says it right here. This is when she Googled that. So she's claiming she Googled shit about her kids' sports stuff, whatever, at 2:30 in the morning. The tab was left open. And then in the middle of the screaming hysteria mess at 6 o'clock in the morning, she opened the Google back up and typed in the new thing. And so it's just reading off of the old tab. So that tab was opened at 2:27 for her to look up her kids' sports scores or whatever. And then it was just the same tab was being used. Now, both analysts have been up on the stand and we've heard hours about their education, their experience, what they do, who they work for, all the stuff they've ever done. And then we have to hear the long, boring process of IT stuff about how phones work, metadata works, Google works, all the things. And honestly, in my opinion, I've watched both sides and I go, okay, I followed all that. Boring, but I followed it. That seems like that's right. So we don't have anything there to save Karen Reed. Then I hear the
Right.
other side and I go, oh, wait a minute. Never mind. That works too. And even I'm sitting here going, huh, I don't know. We need a third IT person in there to do this because I don't know. I mean, I don't know which one to believe, but okay, then we have other specialists who've come out about impact of being hit by a car at certain mileages an hour. Where would the body fly and go? And apparently he would have had to have been hit, pivot, fly 10 feet and land where he landed, and it would have been an impossibility. And then we have another person who claims to be an expert, except they did not have the education or the experience or the knowledge, and they say that it could happen. So you're like, okay, let's get rid of that person. They don't have the same experience as this other professional.
Vanessa said she had deleted it. It was the only search she deleted.
Right. She says that, but well, she actually deleted a couple things. There's some deleted text, there's some deleted calls. There's a lot of deleting happened amongst all these people and their phones. Honestly, that's another part of it. A lot of deleting of calls and texts, and they all got new phones. Not all of them, but most of them.
Now,
And
the information that you're saying, is this all updated as far as the trial right now with like the lie and whatever?
Oh yeah, this is all as of this week. All this shit's come up again, and some of it's gonna come back up again because we're gonna have the same fucking idiots on the stand again. And so, like Brian Higgins, who's a DEA guy who was at the party, who did flirty texts with Karen Reed in like the week prior. He left this party and he decided he needed to get a new phone pretty fucking fast. And so he broke his SIM card from his phone, broke his phone, put it in a baggie, and deposited it on a military base garbage. That's awfully specific and weird. Why would you have to do all that? Just get a new fucking phone. And then they say things like, well, were you breaking the SIM card because you didn't want anybody to get your data, because you didn't want any of your information? And he would be like, no. They go, well, wouldn't that be the reason to break a SIM card? So nobody could steal your data?
Right.
And like he sits there and goes, no. You're like, Dude, like the way they answer this stuff is like ring around the rosy. You're like, come on, guy. You know what? You're a DEA. You know what the fuck you're like. You all act like and
Right,
look like
right, right.
assholes.
Yeah.
So they all destroyed phones, got new phones, but some of their old phones were still viable, and they did turn them over. Or got all of the things. So it's it's tricky with all of that because everybody with the data and in the interpretation of when was this data actually said and done. Now, Jen McCabe has said that, well, when she was in the back of the car, we're like, why did you even Google this shit in the first place?
It worked for Hillary. Sorry, I'm reading the chat too.
And they go, well, because
Keep
Karen,
going, Kendra. I'm just gonna get a drink, okay?
well, and she had said, like, well, because Karen had told me to. So you're like, okay, fine. So you're doing what your friend said. That's why you're even Googling that shit in the first place. Because, I mean, in my opinion, for if this had been myself, I wouldn't have been coherent to seeing my friend dead on the lawn and all this chaos going on to be like, let me Google some shit. Like, I'm just more worried about, is he alive? Is he breathing? Is he have, whatever the fuck he had going on? Um, because he wasn't visibly broken on any of his body parts. He didn't have stab wounds, gunshot wounds. Like, so you're like, what the fuck happened? So I feel like I personally would have been more just concerned about what is going on with him. Is he alive? Is he savable? Like, where are we at with that? But not to just start going, well, let me do my own research on this right now in the back of the squad car. Like, I don't know. I just feel like my anxiety would have been more focusing in a different way. But people can do different things. But that's fine. That's what she did, and she claims it's because Karen told her to. So it's just a weird move, and this is nothing but weird moves with like all of these people. So I watched all of this week of all these people. Jen McCabe was on the stand for 3 days, ended Friday. I'm not sure if they're done with her. I don't remember. I feel like we're not. I feel like she has a little bit more to go, but I could be wrong. I don't fully remember that. And then we've got all the rest of these Alberts that have to come back up on the stand and go through a lot of all of this stuff again. And it's coming out more and more about how connected everybody was. They didn't just all be besties, maybe be swinging together. They grew up together. They were all married into each other and were just super tight. Um, John O'Keefe wasn't part of this tight group, but was somewhat attached with it. Now, he had kids, but they weren't biologically his children. They were biologically his niece and nephew that he had adopted from his sister who had passed. Um, his parents, now this is speculative again, they're not together right now. They're
Uh-huh.
older, obviously, but they're not together right now. And that's because the belief is the mother believes Karen did it, the father believes she did not. I don't know if I know the mother believes she did it. I don't know where the father stands, but I know that they're not together. That is obvious. They
Never
have different
happens, Spade. God.
they have different addresses and stuff. So, okay, fine. We know that that was a house ladled with issues and trauma growing up for those kids. We know that um you know they lost the daughter traumatically. We also know there was a legal battle with John and his mother over custody of those children. And we know that the mother was not speaking to John at the time of his death. We know that he had tried and things, so Karen had met her and talked with her, and she treated Karen like shit and hated Karen from day one. And that could have just been because she already was mad at her son, so she hated whoever he was with.
Right.
So so some of that drama has been parsed out. So again, amongst these individual families, personal family drama has been parsed out of all their messiness, and they all fucking had it. I'm over here going, hold on. How old are all these kids who are left home alone while all their fucking parents and aunts and uncles and nieces and nephews and cousins and aunties and whatever are all out drinking and driving? Like, are they all old enough to be left alone? Like, I don't know, because they make it seem like, well, yeah, of course they were old enough because they were all out doing this. They were old enough to be left home alone. But then when they get on trial, they're like, and why did you leave? Oh, we needed to get home to our children. Oh, now all of a sudden you needed to? Well, we didn't want them home alone. You did for 9 hours while you were drinking at the bar all night. What are you kidding me? But
Right.
so they say a lot of things that kind of then suddenly go against the other thing they said. It's
Who is Auntie Bev a part of this?
Auntie Bev. So the
Because
internet
someone
has
was mentioning Auntie Bev in the chat before a little bit ago.
okay. So Beverly is her name. She's the judge. Blonde hair, wears the
Okay.
glasses. She's the judge. Okay, so she's attached to this case too. Unfortunately, she shouldn't be the judge, but okay, it is what it is.
Why can't
So
she recuse herself then? If she's attached to
well,
the kid.
there you go. She shoulda. But do they do anything the right way in this whole predicament of all these people? No. They got their besties to be the lead detective on the dead man on their front lawn. They all did all kinds of telling each other. One of the texts that came through was some rookie cop asking the lead guy of, is this going to come down on the Alberts and be a problem for them at all? And he was like, nope, not at all. Really? How are you certain of that? Like,
Seems to be
there's
a
a
lot
lot
of
of
biased
other
judges out there.
right. So essentially, she's related to a detective on the team,
Then she should
and
recuse herself. Period.
right. So that's what it comes down to. And then there was the detective got a DUI, and there's a whole other fucking story with the judge. So she's tainted. She was related to this family and shenanigans years back. So there's no way she should be a judge on this case, but she is. So the internet has labeled her Auntie Bev as like a
Okay.
mocking thing because she was Auntie Bev to some of the group's members of this whole storyline. So that's why they say, okay, Auntie Bev, like we're not calling you judge nothing. You're Auntie Bev to some of these people. So bullshit that you're the judge on this case. It's not
Right.
right. So there's that. The
Who do you think did it?
okay, so
I'm going too far ahead. Okay.
different detectives, officers, all these names, just to try and keep it simple. We won't bring them all up, but including FBI have all interviewed all these people, knocked on their doors, multiple interviews, went to a grand jury trial, went to trial number 1. It was a hung jury. And here we are again in trial number 2 because the Commonwealth decided to retry the case. So
Uh,
that's where we're at with all of that. So when you go, well, hold on, the FBI got involved. They didn't care. Nope, they did their questions and they were friendly with the cops too. So they skedaddled on. And
Interesting.
they don't have any nobody has any ideas or speculations within that police department or investigators of any of them that there could be anything other than her hitting him. So let's look at what killed him. He had no broken bones, no bruises on his body except for his head. And if you stand at the back of your vehicle, I don't know where the taillight falls, but you're going to at least have, depending on how tall you are, your chest is going to get hit. He didn't have anything wrong with his chest, his bottom, his feet, his legs, nothing. But his arm had these lacerations. So you look at this arm and go, what did that come from? They go up from the bits of the taillight, taillight. They're not life or death lacerations, but they're there nonetheless. They're it's a little significant. And you kind of look at it and just look at it. I mean, you can pull the picture up right now. What does it look like to you? I've been bitten by a dog. They look like dog bites. But what do I know? I've just been bitten by one. I don't know. So he seems to have significant bite marks all on his arm. Now, inside that house, there was a German Shepherd named Chloe. Chloe was a known biter, aggressive German Shepherd. Complaints from the neighbors.
Uh-huh.
So he's now found dead on the front lawn, has bite marks. There's the aggressive biting German Shepherd in the house. Perhaps he went in the house? But nope, nope, nope. It's from the fucking taillight, they say, not the dog. Before the trial even started the first time around, the Alberts rehomed the dog, they say. Dog is gone. And all the privacy laws and stuff, we can no longer get anything from this dog whatsoever because privacy laws of the new owners, wherever the dog landed up. If the dog did end up with new owners, I don't know, even that. Maybe the dog went bye-bye. I don't know. So what they did was DNA testing on his arm to find dog saliva. Did
Right.
they find any dog saliva? Nope. But they found pig saliva.
Pig
DNA.
saliva.
Pig DNA, excuse me. Pig DNA. Pig DNA.
Who owns a
Was there
pig?
Well, right. Was there a wild boar running around that gnawed on his arm for a minute? Or do you give treats to your dog that are pig ears? And
Ah,
what are the bones and the chewies and the rawhides and all those things are made of pig parts for dogs? Known fact.
oh,
The
they didn't
pig
do
ears.
DNA. Did they do DNA on his arm or they swabbed his clothes?
No, it was on the.
Richard.
It was. They did it all over him, but they found the pig DNA on his arm.
Okay.
So you go, okay, so dogs, pig ears are a specialty, especially amongst the bigger dogs. I know I had
Yeah.
one. Like, so you go, okay, so it's becomes like it's another odd thing, but kind of leans towards he had to have at least gotten in that house. Now we got to go back in time a little bit to a couple days after this dead man was on the Albert's front lawn, and they take off to New York to go to a fellow police officer's funeral that they didn't know. Okay, again, different, but whatever. They go out and are hanging with friends afterwards. Photograph gets taken, and now that man is in a shoulder sling. He's got a shoulder injury, an arm injury. Something's happened. He's in a sling in the photo. Well,
Richard.
how did that happen? We don't know, but okay. Also, the son, the nephew, Colin, has photoed himself on Instagram as well and shows his knuckles, both of which are all cut up. Knuckles are all beat up. And it's photoed. It was on public social media and people saw it. And they're like, well, dude, how did you fucking hurt your knuckles when he was on the stand? He goes, oh, I slipped and fell on the ground. They said, you fell knuckle first on both your knuckles at the same time? Who does that? When you fall, it's an automatic thing. The brain, you go palms out, hands out.
Right. Right.
Nobody falls knuckles down on the ground
Right.
with both knuckles. But he did, coincidentally. Okay, so we've got one dude with a shoulder injury posting it on social media, and another one with the knuckles posting it on social media. We got the dog bites, and we ultimately have that John O'Keefe had a cracked skull and was bleeding from that, and that killed him. And if he had been found sooner, he still probably wouldn't have been able to be saved. But okay. So, how does one get that? They're like, well, if you walk into a room full of men who are all ready to go at it, and somebody throws a punch, and then their knuckles get messed up from it, and somebody else grabs in a weird way and fucks up their shoulder. And then, when people are fighting, sometimes the stupidest things can happen. You fall down on the ground, you hit a sprinkler the right way with your head, or you hit the railing on a staircase, you're gone. Your skull's cracked. And it doesn't have to be that vicious of a fight or a fall. It's just the right angle fall, you are out. And perhaps that happened and he fell and he was out. He was gone and they knew it. You see a dead body, and there's a body dying, and
Right.
went, oh shit. They wanted to maybe toughen him up, teach him a lesson, say, have a few words. It went to punches as soon as he walked in the door. That's why he never responded to Karen. We don't know. Nobody knows. It's all speculative. But perhaps that happened, perhaps that he fell down the flight of stairs to the basement, because this was like a multi-level house with, we have the basement, we have the second story, we have cellar doors that come to outside, and we have a lifting gym room in like the garage. Also, one could probably crack their skull on those things easily, especially if you
Right.
fell backwards and landed on it. Like any number of accidental things could have happened from a fight, and then we all rally together to have our story because we're all cops and we'll be believed, and we'll just move that body out on the lawn, and we can blame it on a drunk driver or the plow guy or whoever the fuck. And then Karen Reed showed up and gave them their golden ticket.
Right.
Maybe that happened. So you
There's
go,
a
well,
goal there.
how long was he outside in that cold? Did the cold kill him? Because again, they're all saying, yeah, he was frozen, he was cold, all of the things. So he must have been out there since 12:30 to 6 a.m. when he was found, frozen to death that whole time. And yet his shoe was missing, he had no gloves on his hands, and he did not have frostbite.
That's weird.
So, right, they go, well, he couldn't have possibly been out there as long as they say, because that doesn't add up, and he would have those things, but he did not. He was also found face down in the snow. His nose didn't have it. So that's weird. So you're like, ugh. He also had an
That-
Apple Watch on. He also had an Apple phone. And
Vanessa's saying the evidence shows the way John hit his head, instant out. The damage caused seizure. He also had 2 black eyes, and the bleeding to his brain was in such a way to prove he was punched in the temples.
right, that's all the speculative too, because his brain had swelled from the head injury, that it started to swell his face. So the black eyes appear. So they're trying to parse out chicken or the egg. What happened first? Right? Was he
Right.
punched first, causing a black eye? Was that due to the brain swelling? They don't know, but they know that his head had traumatic injury to it. They don't know how though. So, and most likely his skull wasn't cracked from this 17-year-old's punch to the head. Something
Right.
else had to have hit it, but they can't come to a conclusion about
Right.
exactly how he died either. So it's very you're like, ugh. It's just thing after thing of this case. And there's these people all have their families that they have now, but they also came from families that had grown up together too. So like parents knew each other and grandparents knew each other. And like the Albert's home, for example, was basically born into that house and grew up in that house. His grandparents had lived in it, his parents had lived in it, he lived in it, he raised his kids in it, and then he sold it. But not before he redid the basement. You're like, but why'd you redo the basement? You just redid your basement 2 years or 3 years ago. So what you're telling me, sir, is this home you were going to pass on to your kids, this was the whole thing in your family.
For a year.
You got
I
a
mean,
shoulder,
decade.
you got a shoulder injury. You then went to work and filed for disability because of the said injury. And then 3 days after that, changed your mind and put in for retirement. Went to this cop funeral you didn't know, posted yourself on the social media, and then redid your basement, rehomed your beloved dog of 8 years you would never get rid of, even though the neighbors were all bitching at you about her. You got rid of her, and then you put your house up for sale, and you sold it for nearly $100,000 under asking price. At a time when real estate was going through the roof, people are bidding like crazy, overvaluing houses. And you got the fuck out of Dodge and went to go live in a cabin in Maine. All before the trial started. So you're like, that's weird. Like, what? But okay, sure. Lots of other things could have coincidentally lined up with that. Can you explain any of it? No, he can't. He was just in the mood. Why did you get a new phone, sir? I had
Strictly,
FOMO.
thank you.
It's like, we're like, FOMO? That's your answer why you got a new phone and destroyed your old phone with FOMO? You're a fucking cop. You can't come up with a better answer because you as a cop should know that's a dumbass answer. But no,
This
that's
is crazy. They're
Right.
totally covering up. So, all right. So the first trial, it was dismissed, right? Well, it was a hung
No.
jury.
So technically they say the first trial was the grand jury trial that
Uh huh.
was to detail out was there enough to go to a further trial. So all these cast of characters all got up on the stand and all had to do this once. That was the grand jury trial. Then they said, "Yep, we're moving forward. We're going to go to a trial with a jury." Fine. So that was trial 1 about what, a year and a half ago, year ago, something like that.
When did all this happen?
In 2022 at the end of January, January 28th, 29th.
Jesus. Okay.
2022. So then they went to the grand jury, then they went to trial 1, and now we're in trial 2.
And they're expecting a different result because they have
Right. So
more.
new video footage, new data analysis of photos, things like them being inverted, the records, the analysts, like they have some new things, audio.
Proving that Karen did it.
No, proving she did not. Proving also, we're not trying to pin it on anybody else because that's not how that works. We're just trying to prove her innocent. And what do you need to prove innocence? Reasonable doubt.
Right.
So we're proving there's so much reasonable doubt.
Becky,
Like
thank you so much.
it's fucking obvious.
I
Like
thought
it's
like this is like ridiculous that they're even doing this trial.
right, and like in the meantime, the lead detective got fired. Other people have been suspended. Like a lot of shit has gone down. I left a lot out because it's a lot. It's when I say they're all
Oh, I can
messy,
imagine.
they're all
Teresa,
messy.
so glad Kendra's on with trial is on point. Becky said this
And
is her jam. Thank you so much, Teresa.
and the other thing with Jen McCabe is that like
Yeah, you were
she
losing it over Jen McCabe last week.
because you know how when you saw Amber Heard and you're just like, you are lying, bitch. Like this is
Right,
so
right.
made up.
Him too. Thank you.
Jen is very similar. She's not as dramatic and all of those things, but she does it more with the back East Coast resting bitch face attitude woman of like being an older mom like lady, like, and she
Uh,
corrects the lawyer and she talks back and yeah, she's very, and you can tell when she says like she turns on the waterworks to cry over her dear friend, and she was saying like when she was doing compressions, it just something didn't feel right, like it was too hard or something. Like she's trying to insinuate his body was frozen. That's why chest compressions were hard. Again, I ask if any of you have ever done chest compressions. It is very hard. It's supposed to be. We have a whole breastplate over our heart there. And if you properly do them, you end up cracking ribs, doing a lot of bruising on a proper chest compression because you have to get to the fucking heart to push on it to make it pump.
right.
So it's
Right.
and on a big man, he was over 200 pounds, over 6 feet tall. It's gonna be hard. Sure fucking is. It's not gonna be as easy as a 6-year-old child. So,
Right.
but her insinuating, I don't know, it was just hard. And like doctors have said, who are just like me and you watching it, people have just gone on and been like, okay, so I'm an ER doc. I've done, I don't even know how many, hundreds of chest compressions. How many have you done, Miss McCabe, who you claim your job is a homemaker? By the way, who says that term anymore? But whatever. So that how many do you routinely do? Because he's sitting there, this one doctor's going, they're hard. They're supposed to be. Like, what are you talking about? Like that matters nothing. And she's always adding in those little extra bits to try and just make Karen Reed sound crazy and oh, he was frozen and da 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 da. You're like, even though Karen is not like the most likable person, you feel bad for her because she doesn't deserve any of this. She's most likely innocent. And you're like, he went into that house. She's the only witness who saw him go in because everybody else in the house claims they never saw him. But witnesses outside of the house didn't see him anywhere outside of the house, in a car, on the lawn, nothing. So you have all the outside people sticking to their story and the inside people sticking to their story. So this guy just vanished. And at one point, the lawyer said, so this invisible man, the vanishing man, like, come on, this reappeared. You're like, they're all lying. They're all covering each other's asses. And I saw a story, somebody was giving their opinion on, so the fight went down. People were scattered throughout this house. The women were being women, sitting together in the living room or kitchen or wherever. The men were elsewhere. Shit went down. And they were like, here's our plan, came up with their plan. And then everybody slowly started to leave. Let's all not leave in a rush, but let's slowly exit this house. And when they got in their car or got home, then told their wives, okay, here's what went down. Here's what we're going to do. Here's the fucking story. Keep your mouth shut, whatever, whatever, right? And so that's perhaps why Jen McCabe couldn't sleep. She was very distressed about this information. So that's maybe why she was Googling at 2:37 in the morning, how long to die in the cold. And so these women perhaps didn't witness it, didn't see him enter. So they're not lying in that fact, but they also know the truth because they were told the fucking truth. And all the men huddled together and said, shh, I don't know. It's
Crazy.
that's why there's a whole trial, because it's all very there's just, point being, if we just go back to the laws, the rules of court, is there reasonable doubt? Yep. She's innocent. Let it go. Because that's all you need. And then will they come after any of those other motherfuckers? No, they won't. It'll be unsolved. Because of course they're not going to go after them. Who's going to go after them? The
Then we
FBI was
have
already there and dismissed it and left it to the hands of the police and said, this is, we don't need to be a part. You can do it. So
and
who's
saying
going to
that
come
you have
after?
corrupt district attorney Marcy.
Yep, they're all corrupt.
Hey.
And it's like, let me reference OJ, which is sort of a bad example because OJ did it. But did his defense give reasonable doubt to that
Yes.
jury? Yes, they did.
Yes,
And that's
they did.
why the jury voted the way that they did. And those jurors have over the years come out and said that, as well as, again, it's why it's sort of a bad example. They've also said it was also payback for, the other incident previously with, what's his name? Reginald. But point being, they did. And I even saw it between the fucking hat and the glove. And when they put Mark Furman on the stand and he pled the fifth, dude, lead detective, what are you doing pleading the fifth? Why won't you answer the most basic of questions about your evidence and how you came upon the fucking evidence that you are trying to use to put OJ in jail? You ain't going to talk about it? And then
Right.
the other cop talked about how he put OJ's blood in his desk drawer over the weekend. You're like, that doesn't sound like proper evidence protocol either.
Right.
But so you see where the fucking police failed across the board. And so it gave reasonable doubt. And that's all that's needed in the court of law. Again, does that make it right? Sometimes I don't feel like it does, because I'm like, well, hold up. OJ did it and we all fucking know it. We got to let him go on this reasonable doubt bullshit. But okay. That's why I say not the best example, but still, we all know how that turned out. That man on his deathbed made everybody sign NDAs.
Uh,
You're like, well, that's not normal, OJ, but okay. So, and regardless, Karen has lost her car. She's lost her job. She was a professor at a college. She's
oh my
lost her
God.
home. Her parents have had to sell their home as well. Like, they all lost everything. And how's she ever going to go anywhere again and go, hi, I'm Karen Reed?
Right.
So, like, her life is ruined anyways. All the rest of these fuckers, everybody knows who they are everywhere they go. They don't go anywhere. They stay in their tight little group. And if you've ever watched Goodfellas, there's a line in there that they remind me of where they say, we didn't hang out with anybody else ever. It was always just the family. No outsiders allowed ever.
Uh,
Vacations, baptisms, weddings, you hung out with nobody but the family. And that was Goodfellas, based on the Italian mafia.
Uh-huh.
Awesome movie. Highly suggest you watch it. One of my favorite movies ever. Fucking awesome. Right? But
I
like,
agree, Richard. When the cops fuck up, they should toss the case, period.
but here we go.
Round
Here-
two. I mean, well, kind of round three. How do they expect to get a different result? What are they bothering for?
Put it this way. Here's my unscrupulous opinion here. Everything I'm about to say is wrong, so close your precious ears if you have them. If you're in a mob or a mafia or you work for them or whatever the fuck, okay,
Mm.
fine, have your happy little life. You
Been there, done
cross
that.
that family, you will be fucked. You step outside and you turn and you flip, which is what these lawyers are trying to get any one of them to fucking do. You're dead. And you know it. There's no way.
No
You're
doubt.
fucking dead. You
No
can't,
doubt.
and I'm okay with that because I just have come to the understanding that that's how that group of people work, and you know that entering that group, so that's now your choice to partake in those activities and pay such consequences. So so be it. I don't care. Is it wrong to murder? Of
Thank
course it's
you,
wrong to murder.
Anne.
But I'm just saying, you walk into that knowingly, that family,
Oh
that
yeah,
group,
there's
whatever.
those when you're in a group such as that or another group, whether it be, it doesn't matter what
Right.
kind of group. You know
And
what
if
you're
you
walking into with the group.
And if you are the outsider walking into that group and you know you're arguing with them, you're not getting along, weird things have gone down, um,
You
I'll
might
just
want
spell
to
it
just
out
back
for
the
you.
fuck off and leave.
You best walk the fuck away because you gonna be set up to be the patsy.
Uh-huh.
Sounds like that's what they did to Karen Reed. And they're not mob and mafia. They're their own kind of mob and mafia, if you will. And you know what? Yeah, don't fuck with them. All the neighbors on the street didn't fuck with them. They didn't like them.
And
They
not
stayed away.
every cop is like this. This is not, you know what I mean? We're
Almost
just
all of them in the state of Massachusetts seem to be, just saying, in my opinion. But some states have a long history, some cities, some counties, it's a proven fact, have a long history of nefarious behavior. And the state of Massachusetts is one of them. In
I bet you
California,
could find that everywhere though.
right, in California, I'll attack my own state. LA, again, OJ, LAPD was fucked up for years. For years. Only recently have they turned a corner and they are more proper policemen. But they were so fucked up. And this was the time when the Menendez brothers came through, OJ came through. You know that OJ and the Menendez brothers met in jail? They had cells next to each other for a time and they were talking and chatting.
Yeah.
Isn't that ironic? I thought, huh, isn't that weird? A bunch of rich motherfuckers living in LA, both sitting in cells. They used to throw the football and he would teach them football when they were little. And now here they both are in jail for murder. Don't be rich and live in LA, I guess. I don't know.
That's crazy. Pebs, obvious, especially with the phone destruction. Yeah. Yep.
Right. And then you throw it in a military
Thank you,
base
Pebs.
garbage where it can't be searched and shit. You're like, oh my God. And he's a DEA. And there's a known drug dealer in the house. And it did, like, come on. It's
I'm
ridiculous.
just amazed that they're still trying to go after. I mean, they know what the result's going to be. There's reasonable doubt all over the place here.
Oh, and I follow, I'm on TikTok a lot. I follow people there. And there's some, I don't know if they're ex mob, current mob, I don't know, whatever. They were mob people and they are there and people interview them. They have their channels, what have you. And somebody asked one of the guys, he worked for the Gambino family. And they
Ding, ding.
said,
What?
do you think Karen Reed is guilty? He started to laugh and said, no, I know exactly what happened there. He goes, that's some low level family business work. They didn't do a good job at all. Meanwhile,
Right.
almost every person in his family has been hauled into jail and had prison time at one point or another, and they all fell apart, you know. But still, it's like he called it as he saw it. He's like, yeah, that's some low level shit. I burst out laughing. I'm like, you know, but people were known to die a year, or was it a couple years? Don't quote me on this, not remembering exactly. But another dead body was found on Fairview Avenue, not at the Alberts house, but a couple houses up. Turns out that guy, dead, was also somehow related to the Alberts in a case, or he had arrested him at one point, something like that. And he was just found randomly dead down the street. They say that often happened to people that had once worked with this family.
Mm.
Maybe do exactly what they say, which is what they're all doing now, so they don't get dead and their children don't get dead because they accidentally got somebody else dead who happened to be a fellow cop on their in their house and then threw him out on the lawn. You know, why is all this video footage missing? Why are texts deleted? Why are phone calls deleted? Why is voicemail deleted? Oh, also, I forgot another very important point. Can't believe I forgot this. That night, amongst the men and the women, a massive amount of butt dial calls happened in the middle of the night. Multiples of them across all these different paths of these people. So many butt dial calls. And the lawyer's standing there saying, so what you're trying to tell me is in your sleep, you had your phone in your pocket, you accidentally butt dialed them. Somehow that got disconnected. And then them in their sleep at a different location butt dialed you back 2 minutes later. And they go, yes. And I'm like, well, maybe the first person butt dialed, but the butt dial back. And this happened not once. This happened across like 4 different people 6 times in this same evening when everybody was claiming to be home asleep in their beds. They were all butt dialed.
Cat lady says you can't butt dial new cell phones.
And I'm like, well, you right, but you can because I've done it. But this is I know exactly how I did it. They were in my phone as a recent call or text, and I left the screen open, and then I put it in my pocket, and then I proceeded to move around, like squat down, tie my shoe, open a drawer, stand up, reach, grab something, you know, doing a lot of movement to make the phone do a lot of movement. And next thing I
Right.
know, I'm hearing ringing or a hello, and I'm like, what the fuck? And then I look at my phone, and I'm like, oh shit. So it can, but you had to have already left it on an open thing that we got to that point. So even if they did butt
Thank
dial,
you,
you
Jennifer.
were already phoning them, texting them something that you left that app open. And then you did a large amount of movement, maybe moving a body. I don't know.
I did not, John Caps. Jen McLeod says she helped close the FBI investigation. What was the lie that she said the other day? You were just like, oh my God, oh my God. Where she had said she was on the phone with them and then that she wasn't. And you were
Uh,
telling me that she, oh my gosh, that when they first went to her house, she said she wasn't her.
okay. So she got up, took her kids to school. They're like young high school, junior high level, right? So
Yeah.
I know this to be true as a mom. They wake you up last minute, you roll out of bed, you throw on your sweatshirt, your robe, whatever you go in. You don't do hair, you don't brush teeth, you don't do face, you don't do any of that shit. And you drive them to school and you come home. So that's what she did. She says that she arrived, pulled up in her driveway, and the 2 FBI guys got out of the house and they said, are you Jen McCabe? And she said, oh, no, 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 I'm not. And they said, why did you tell them no, that wasn't you? And she said, well, I hadn't even brushed my teeth. Like I knew they would want to interview. This is going to be a while. I didn't have my bra on. Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, in her
Uh,
defense, I get that. I do that all the time myself. So But you could have said that, hey, yeah, can I have a few minutes? Because I'm clearly, look at me. I'm not dressed. My hair's not brushed. I haven't done a thing, like whatever. Right. But no,
Alex.
she says, no, I'm Nicole. What the And they go, are you the owner of this house? Because our information states that Jen McCabe is the owner of this house. And then she's like, I'm not talking to you. Turns around, walks into the house because she owns it, because she lives in it. And then they, on the way, say, hey, here's our card. Maybe you call us if you find Jen McCabe. She goes in the house and in 10 minutes' time made 5 phone calls. One of them was her husband. The other 4 were the 4 other people that were there at the house that night. And then she calls them back. They didn't leave. They sat out front and they waited for her to realize that she was Jen McCabe. And she said, oh, I'm her now. Come on in and I'll talk to you.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, in 10 minutes, first of all, you did the 5 phone calls. What about the brush the teeth? Because you were sitting here a minute ago saying, I didn't even brush my teeth. I would have been brushing my teeth and brushing my hair, putting on a fucking bra, changing my clothes, whatever. But no, she just had 10 minutes, superwoman over there. And in the middle of the interview, her husband comes home because he was one of them who she said, get the fuck home. The FBI is here. So he
Right.
did. He was there for just a few minutes when all of a sudden we don't know what was being talked about because they didn't say, but it got uncomfortable. She didn't like it anymore. And she stops the whole fucking thing and says, no more, I'm not talking.
Huh.
And they had to leave. You're like, why'd you do that?
Huh.
So, yeah. So it's like the whole thing was like, what do you mean? So I was pissed off because she was saying, no, I said I was Nicole. Why did you say you were Nicole? And then say, no, I don't know who the homeowner is. And then walked into the fucking house, called them back and said, I found her here and you're her. And you be sitting there calling Karen crazy because she's running around screaming about when her boyfriend just died. Come on, knock it off.
Oh my
Like,
goodness, Strictly.
it's stupid. And then she, like, doesn't recall a lot of stuff. And she's never been able to through any of the trials. And she can't remember anything. They pulled out the phone records and they were like, here's your 5 phone calls. She's like, yeah. And then, did you call this one? Yeah. Did you call that one? Yeah. Did you call this one? Yeah. She says, yeah. And they go, well, how come you didn't remember it previously when I just asked like 3 minutes ago? Well, because it's been a long time and I don't remember every interview, what I said, who I called, they all blend together, blah, blah, blah. Shut
Right.
up. They have prepped you for this shit so hard. And
Right.
like,
Right.
when they ask her certain questions, she's been prepped. She hesitates because she's waiting for the prosecution side to object because they've prepped her to say, we'll object if this comes up, if this is phrased this way. So don't answer, give us time. And she does. She looks over at them. Oh, you're not objecting? I guess I got to answer. Like, you can see it. She's full of
Right.
shit. And, you know, her family that she came from naturally isn't all that great either.
Strictly.
None of them are in this family. All of them had parents and grandparents, aunts and uncles that weren't the greatest, that did lots of, illegal things. And that shouldn't pertain to who they are now as a person or this case. Is just
Good
saying,
night, Ernie.
when you have
By
a
the way, Kendra, a lot of
marriage.
people are saying they're glad you're here talking to us and telling us the story.
Well, thank you. And I'm glad I could be here to help you all out with your knowledge of the Karen Reed
Guys,
case.
I've been telling you, I'm waiting for Kendra to come on and talk about Karen Reed because she's got this down. And a lot of you guys in the chat know what's going on. Vanessa, especially.
And if you go onto TikTok, I'll just tell you this, you'll find, and it sets an algorithm for what you like and what you watch. And so I watch more of the people who are Karen Reed is innocent than of guilty. But the guilty ones will come through sometimes too. And I search them out intentionally sometimes because I want to see what are people saying? What are their reasons for things? They're
So
not
is there
out
a
there.
lot of people thinking she's guilty too?
No, that's what I'm saying is in comparison to the amount, no, not at all. Everybody's saying that she's innocent. And I'm talking about people that are doing their videos. They show their face, just sitting there talking away. They got Boston accents. I know a
Right.
Boston accent when I hear. They all got the accents going. They're all, and there's a lot of people that are starting to go. I am sane. I am of sound mind. I am not suicidal. I am perfectly fine. Here's my take. And then they start to say, like, holy shit, did you know this happened because my cousin went to prom with this one and that, da, 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 da. And like all these other nothing to
It's
do with the
hot.
trial points are coming out. And all these people have years of being bad. Their parents were bad people doing this bullshit. Like,
Right.
it's just years and years of it in that area. And, you know, you, I don't care. You do something bad, illegal, wrong, or what have you, like, and you get in trouble for it. You pay your dues or taxes, fine, whatever you gotta do, do it. Okay, that doesn't necessarily make you that person forever. You know, like you're
Right.
not. It doesn't have to be that way. Now, if you did some kind of fucking pedophilia, I'm sorry, I'm done. You're over. Forget it. You do
Right.
murdering, where is it self defense murder? Let me have a little more info on the murder. But like, what? It doesn't necessarily define you. Look at Jelly Roll. Like he got arrested for drug use and stuff, and he has a whole felony record they're trying to get swiped so he can travel internationally because he goes to jails and boys camps and certain things, and he gives them talks and lessons about changing your life. And you can look at what I did, and I was this big fat 500-pound dude. Look at I've lost 250 pounds. I'm still losing weight. Da 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 da. Like he's trying to show people, hey, you can't. It doesn't define you. You can be better and change and stuff.
Mhm.
So like so what? You got caught up in some shit at some point, there you go. In fact, I won't say details, but I will say so when my husband was younger, he was a stoopy. And I to this day make fun of something he did when he was 18 years old. And he just told the story to my son, which I'm like, why are we doing this? I'm laying in bed, it's midnight. Here comes this story now. Like, oh my God. So now I'm like, holy crap. And my son's eyeballs are bugging out of his head. And I'm just laughing. I'm hysterically laughing. My mom knows the story because it was in the newspaper. I remember I walked in the door. She came running at me, yelling at me like I had something to do with it. I'm like, what are you even talking about?
Right.
And so, he did what he got in trouble. He paid the money. He did the probation. It's over and done with whatever. And it didn't stay on his record for forever, but it did for a while, I guess. But it didn't matter. But oh well. And didn't, he wasn't out there murdering people. He did on his own stupid shit to himself. That's funny, and I'll just let him tell it with his story to tell one day. But we've teased him for his whole life about it because it was a stupid mistake. And you look at him and go, what were you thinking? He's like, I wasn't. You're like, yeah, you're 18. He's gone on, gotten married, had kids, had jobs, that been
Yeah.
fine. Like, I don't give a shit. Like, whatever. And I'm like, meanwhile, if you Google his name, nothing comes up. You can go on any of those fucking paid sites to look for somebody's background. Nothing comes up on him. And I'm a little bit pissed because I'm like,
Just like Germ.
at least that should fucking come up. And he's like, why? It was fucking 30 years ago. And I'm like, yeah, but when you Google my name, shit comes up and people get off me. And I go, it's a traffic ticket. I happen to be unlucky enough to get moving violations in different counties in the stupid fucking state that they've kept it on record. I had a heart
Well,
attack when
that's nothing. I supposedly have been driving around with no license.
yeah, I freaked the fuck out when I popped up my own name. Went, oh, what did I do? I'm like, I'm trying to get into this thing and I'm pressing the button. I'm like, what the hell did I do? And I look and I'm like, Solano County. I don't even ever live there. What the fuck? Oh, right. I got a ticket on the fucking freeway. Oh yeah, 15 years ago I did. I was doing fucking 80. I was. But it comes up under the fucking like criminal background, da da da. Da.
Right, 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 right,
And I'm like, that ain't criminal back. What the fucking shit? I paid the $300. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
And then
So
it's like if someone's gonna say something about it, they're gonna have a heart attack. It's like, hello, I was never licensed in the state of Florida. So no, I didn't have a Florida license.
right, it's like it's this.
Good night,
Yeah, so
Richard.
people can make up whatever they
Thank you for
fucking want.
keeping the chat hysterical laughing. But yeah, so it's like I never had a Florida license, and you're trying to tell me that I didn't have a license at all. No, I can legally drive anywhere in the United States with the license I had. They neglect to like pay attention to the fact that
Right. It's
it
not like you
was
weren't licensed at all. You just weren't
right.
of that state's licensure, which you don't have to be.
No, I didn't have to be. So I'm just like, okay, you idiot. So like, you obviously don't bet your shit.
I know, because people want to make stuff be what they want it to be, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And then people get mad. They're like, what do you mean? I'm like, yeah, I got a fucking ticket and it popped up on a criminal thing. My stupid ass husband actually had interaction with police officers and nothing. Whatever. Not fair.
Well, that's
But
my long rap sheet. Ooh.
yeah, well, my
Yeah,
not
because I'm,
so
I'm
innocent
a
husband has a
criminal.
shorter one than you.
I'm a criminal.
Yeah, you
Oh,
are.
good Lord.
I speed. I mean, I'll
I
be
sped
honest.
too.
I
I've sped
speed.
too. Girl, I used to do 90 on the LIE at freaking like midnight doing my makeup. I was
Yeah.
crazy.
But see, I'm in California is my excuse. We all don't drive fast. If the sign says 60, you're doing 80. If the
Right.
sign says 70, there's no limit. If the sign says stop, you ever heard of the California stop?
Uh-huh.
You slow down almost all the way, you continue on. There's a
It's
way.
optional.
Yeah. If you ever listen to any truck drivers, they'll all say, "Oh fuck!" When they get to California, the drivers there, fuck. Because also, if it gets any bit of moisture in the air, we fail to learn how to drive. We cannot. We
Well,
cannot.
I believe that 100%. You guys have no idea what to do when it rains.
No, and part of it is there's just too many of us on our freeways. I mean, I don't know about where all you all live, but I have 8 lanes of freeway. So we got a lot of cars, and it starts to get wet, and people can't do jack shit.
It's like they just freeze. It's like
Yeah,
they don't
we're
know what
so
to
unfamiliar with that.
do.
But if our butts start to boogie and we are rocking and rolling and we look around at each other, is that an earthquake? Oh, you think should we get up or are we good? We
Right,
just sit there.
Strictly, I hear that. I
We
hear
don't
that.
even bother to move. We're like, whatever, it's fine. And any newcomer's like, oh my God, oh my God. And you're like, sit down, relax. It's not big enough to get up.
I'm telling you, man. Oh my God, in Florida here, I have to say, kind of the same thing. But we got drivers here that'll be like, because it could rain. The sun will be out. You'll have sun showers, total sun showers, right? So it could rain, right? But you can get the most horrendous downpour within 2 minutes, and it be gone, and the sun's out. It's like crazy. But the rain sometimes can be so hard, like you can't even see the road. Like it's bad. And then it'll just stop and the sun will be out.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. So like when that happens here, we all just stop on the freeway where we're at. Like what's happening?
Yeah. It's been really bad.
I was just thinking about that when you said you don't have an actual Florida license.
No.
I
I
when
didn't at
that
the
I
time.
right, but I never thought about it till this moment. I've always had a California license. I don't want to move to another state and get a different state's license. I want my California license.
I know. I hear
I
you.
want it to
In
say
there. Same
California.
feeling.
Now, your number has to change if you go to a different state and you get that state's license, then doesn't it? Or does it stay with you? I don't know.
No, it changes because they have different.
I can't
Yeah.
have that. Oh, I can't have that.
Well, what you do is before you move, You go and you renew your license, and then you move, and then it should be good for at least 8 years.
Right, but I'm just saying, like, oh,
I don't know.
I guess my dad's had a bunch of licenses. He's lived in a
But
bunch of
when you
different
move,
states.
you have there's a certain amount of time where you have to get your license changed. Like you could, it all depends. Like snowbirds don't have like I believe they have a certain amount of time, but if you're not a snowbird and you get pulled over and they ask how long you've been there or whatever, they'll ask you like you have to say like 10 days or something like that because it's crazy. The actual law would be like you have to if you're in a certain state, they'll give you like 10 days before you have to change your license. It's like, wait a minute, what if you're only there for 2 weeks?
Yeah, what if I'm going to be there for the summer?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. But, you know,
So
I,
you haven't moved, you're only visiting.
yeah. So, but like George, I bet you George hasn't changed her license from an Ohio State license to Florida. Meanwhile, she's been in Florida well over 6 months. You know, so, but I would always keep mine. Nevada residents don't like California plates here. I changed my plates the first day I moved here because of it.
Oh, no, no, that's the thing. In Nevada, Oregon, and Washington, not as much anymore, but Oregon and Nevada, you drive in with the California plates. It's no joke. So we go places, to my dad who lives in Oregon, we drive our car. And then we'll go somewhere. We all can't fit in one car. So my car comes and I will park in the back of the parking lot. I will park away from the other cars. I want no damage done to my vehicle. And then, yeah, you don't know because my plate sticks out and they don't like us there. Same
And they'll
thing though.
damage your car?
Oh yeah, no. When my dad moved up to Washington, he went to Washington first, lived in Seattle for a long time, and then they got another house in Oregon, and then they eventually retired to Oregon. So he said the same thing. He's like, first thing we did within the first week was we changed the plates on the cars. They went to the
Wow.
DMV because it was really bad for a while. It really was. I don't know that it's that bad, but they'll be like, "Oh, door ding! Look at that! I accidentally spilt my soda on your car." Like that shit is real. It happens because they don't like all of the, you know. And it didn't used to be Nevada, but it became Nevada as Nevada started to grow in recent years. I don't know about Arizona, but for a while, a lot of Californians were going to Arizona. I don't know how
Mhm.
they reacted to that, but I didn't hear about it myself, but I've heard about it in those three other states. And I've got friends and family in those three other states. So,
Right.
you know,
Oh, I'm still a snowbird, so nobody knows that, do they? Secrets. Ooh.
they can't even get your last name right.
If I know, if you know, you know, no. I told them what to do. They're just not listening. So whatever, whatever. We'll just let them continue to look like fools.
So I follow a couple of gals who do like recaps of the daily Karen Reed trial and stuff, and they'll have like live chats and stuff. People discuss their feelings about it.
Uh,
And this one gal, she cracked me up. She ended up posting a video because we told her, do it, just post this video. And so she wrote a letter, like it's
exactly, Lana.
a fake mock letter to like, Dear Police of Massachusetts and Aunt Bev, we need you to finish this trial ASAP. But she went into it with more detailed words using legal terminology and everything, and basically saying, we have those of us who follow the trials and are oh so helpful to you with information we find on our own. We have another trial starting next week. Our brains are going to struggle to process the Diddy trial and the Karen Reed trial at the same time. Can you please wrap this up? Karen Reed is innocent. We all know it. We need to move on to Diddy. And I was like, when she said it, I went, "Oh shit, that's right. That starts on Monday. Is that on going to be on tape, on video? What are we going to get from that? I don't think we're going to get cameras in that courtroom."
Well, if it's
So,
a federal case, correct?
yeah, he's in that Brooklyn jail,
Yeah.
and so, and
No
but
cameras
since
in a federal case.
yeah, so are we going to get our little caricature sketches? What are we going to get? I don't know how reliable the information is going to be. Who's allowed in there that's going to be properly coming out reporting? I don't know. Unless TMZ is in there, I ain't believing it. But
Do you watch Annie Elise on 10 to Life, Kendra?
not regularly, but I know who it is.
I don't know who it is.
I watch so much crap because I've been so bedridden the last few months. Like I'm so sick of my phone, my TV, my fucking apps, my fucking all of it. But yet it's nothing else to do. And then you're like, you look at the time and you go, oh fuck, I gotta check in, see what fucking thing happened today. In fact, I leave it on court TV so it'll wake me up because of the time change for Karen Reed. Because it's
Really?
quiet and then it suddenly will get loud because it comes on. Yeah. And then I have my birds on. I watch my Jackie and Shadow nest. I monitor it. In fact, it's on right now. I could even show you. They sleep in nine nights up until that point, and then I turn it off. I turn it to that one. I'm not tonight because obviously it's the weekend.
Yeah, I think Jerem thinks he's going to be on like court TV or something.
He ain't that important. Nobody wants to look at his penis head.
He's acting like it. He thinks it's like this big national news. It's like, oh my
Oh,
God.
please. His beady little eyes and his plump little face can sit down. Stop it.
Well, the best is just him adding Richard Luthman to this. This is crazy.
Yeah,
I'm
because
loving
that guy don't know nothing about the law.
it.
That guy don't know nothing about conspiracy.
Not a damn thing.
No,
No.
he doesn't have knowledge of high up people in fucking law, but not at all.
It's like with the second I saw that, I just keep mentioning it because I'm still so like shocked by it. Like I don't know why either because like everything he does is just like total freaking stupidity. Like
Yeah,
dude, you just added the one guy to the case who was like immediately gonna tear you apart. I mean like literally tear you apart. And
for
shocking.
funsies. For
Yeah,
funsies.
I
Because he's
wish it was
dealt with so
that.
much higher level stuff. This is
Right.
bullshit to him.
Yeah.
It may be
Yeah.
top of the line for everybody else, but it's really low level shit, people. I mean, we all know this, right? Like this is
Yeah.
pure bullshit. There needs to be
Crazy.
laws made by lawyers, judges, Congress, whoever the fuck that this frivolous lawsuit shit needs to not be allowed all the time.
Yeah. Complete
Is it is a
criminal.
complete waste of time and a backup of other cases that actually need to be seen and heard, where maybe we could focus better on actual murderers and robbers and abusers and rapists and things. But
Right. It's like, okay, so somebody supposedly wrote a sign and called you a bad name. You know, come
right,
on now.
that
You're the one that aired it all over the internet. They
nope,
didn't.
nobody
You
would have
know,
known.
yeah. It's like, come on, where's the police officers that you brought this the attention of? Where are they? I wonder if Shaka's going to drop Richard from the case. He's already added him. Oh, and the other thing is, when we saw the amendment, it didn't say Patty on there, but Patty's still listed on the case. So there's 11 people now. It looked like they removed her in the complaint when I first saw it. So I could have just totally missed it.
It's all stupid. It's
No.
like, oh, I'm going to say you have frog breath. Okay, sue me.
Oh, but it's a
I defamed
conspiracy,
you.
Kendra. It's a conspiracy. And it's
This
my
one
conspiracy.
smells, that one's too tall, this one's fat, that one's too skinny, you got an ugly face, you have bad hair, you have bad breath. Let's just rip everybody apart in some fucking way and call ourselves grown ass adults, and we're going to take you court over saying it or being hurt by it.
So apparently he had a video removed the other day. I wonder why. Which video was it? Rich is gonna chew him up like he's a box of Scooby snacks, right?
It's all stupid.
Yeah, I wonder what video it was that was removed. Either way, I probably have it. Oh, hold on. What?
What?
Hang on. What? What is this? Hold on. Hold on.
If you're going to go on the interwebs and create a page or a channel or have any kind of social media presence, even if you're just going to be a commenter in a chat, you have to get thick enough skin to be ridiculed, mocked, made fun of, disagreed with to some capacity. You have to learn how to siphon out the real ones and the fake ones and the bullshit ones. Who's a troll who just comes in and stirs the pot, and you got to let it go. But no, we got to start ripping them all apart. And like, come on.
Oh, hold on.
Oh, no, I'm reading some of the chat here. Yeah, nobody has problems with other states except for California and Texas. For some reason, these states get all the other states upset. I don't know why. I don't care about other states' nonsense and things they do, and this is how they do it here. It's a different state. Go with the flow. What's the big fucking deal? If you like it, stay. If you don't, leave. What the fuck? Why we gotta be weird about it? When I see a New York plate in like my city, I'm fucking floored. I gotta drive up next to them and look at them like, how did you land here? Because I live in a small town. I'm like, oh, this is weird and different. But like, I'm just being a nosy Nort. And I don't really
Right,
care. I'm just interested. I get all curious. I want to go. I want to ask you a few questions. Like, roll down the window. I got questions.
right,
Like, I'm not. I don't care. I'm not. They can be here. Fucking Texas can be here, and I don't like Texas. Ugh. No offense, beautiful people. If you're from Texas, I love you the same. I don't like the state, the air, the land. It's hot. Everybody I fucking know ends up in Florida for some god awful reason. I don't like the
right,
Florida at all. That's no hidden secret. But I love all my peoples in it.
right.
And I got more peoples there than Lisa and Gabe and Robbie.
Hang on. Let me see. So I'm trying to find something.
Oh, you know another state that causes agita lately for people, and I
What?
don't know why. New Jersey.
Why?
Right. Well, okay. Growing up in New York, New Jersey was like the dump state. Like New Jersey smelled. New Jersey was the picked on state. That's how it was. You talk shit about Jersey, but we didn't hate Jersey. If something shit was gonna go down, we were gonna back them up. But like a lot of people are very like, oh, the Jersey people this, Jersey that, and I'm like, what caused all the hatred of the Jersey? And that state is split down the middle. Like you can't say it's politics. It's half Democratic, half Republican, half rich, half not. Like it's so I don't know. But I've been seeing a lot of it in my social media stuff. And I don't know why, because I don't follow political shit. I don't. It's too much. I
Right.
don't want to hear about it. It drains me. Like, I don't, but, yeah, I don't know. And, I remember I was telling you about this guy that, he almost pulled me up on his live and I panicked.
Right.
So, and he's having like cancer and like he's going through it and all this shit. Or just before I came on, I was scrolling and Gary was laying down next to me and I went, "Oh, look, it's him again." And he was sitting in his car and in 2 seconds in, he started talking about, I don't even remember what he said exactly, but I went, "Oh my God, he and his girlfriend just broke up." And then Gary was like, "Oh no, this with everything else." I'm like, "I know." Like, poor dude. I'm like, "Oh, that sucks. He's going through this health crisis. He doesn't have a job. He's fallen apart in a quick way with his health, and now his girlfriend and him have broken up." You're just like, "Oh." And he's originally from Florida. And so a bunch of us have been saying, go back to Florida, go with your parents. Let's start over. Let's get back to square one with our health. Let's do this. He's only 42 years old. You got time. I know it feels shitty, but we need to save our life at this point. We got to do what we got to do. So maybe this will make him go there. I don't know. But God, he's out there trying to help homeless veterans on the street and decided to make his page about love and kindness. And he is another one who says, follow your passion. Do we know anybody else like that? Like, he's a good dude. And then all this shit happens to him. And he doesn't ask for money. And, this is sort of sad.
Right.
Oh, that reminds me.
What?
So, again, we were laying here all day scrolling the feed. And this woman comes on. If you've ever heard of the soft white underbelly,
Yeah.
this video guy who puts different people on a spotlight and interviews them, and a lot of street people who live on the streets, unhomed, unhoused, whatever we call them, drug addicts, different kinds from all different spaces, and gives them their platform. And they do end up get a following all on their own. Like, you start to feel for these people on the street there, like, oh God, you wish they could get it together and whatever. But he offers help and assistance and they don't take it. So it's sad. It's hard. He's trying to help and it just doesn't happen. So he's moved into different areas of people who aren't in that situation, but were known groupies
Tape it together.
back in the day of the 80s. And this woman's sitting there and she's going on and on about how she was a groupie and she got called up to be one of the gals of the night for the group. Poison, I believe, was the band. And
Poison?
yeah, and one of the guys in the band's assistants. And I'm like, and I look at Gary and he looks at me and we're like, where's she going with this? And I'm like, I gotta ask Robbie this. I gotta ask Robbie this. She has a very detailed story about how she got called up to be with Brett. And
Uh-huh.
she was basically saying Brett was lousy with the sex. And so she has this very elaborate story, right? And everybody got stuck on the fact that she was like 16 or 17. And we're all like saying, no, no, no. Back in the 80s, that was different. It was a different time. Things were different, whatever. But she gave enough
Mostly
clues.
because the girls acted like they were older and yeah.
Right. And I said, and she gave enough context clues that I bet I could retell it to Robbie and
Not
him
that
tell
that's
me if
okay, by the
any of
way.
this was true or not. Because
Mm.
I sat here and I went, I think she's lying. I think this is
Uh-huh.
totally fabricated. And she talked about they were on tour with this band and this other band was in the area and down the street was David Lee Roth and da da da. Like, she set up a whole picture I can retell to Robbie because I saved the video so I could and ask him and say, does this ring a bell? What timeline would this have been? Bop, bop, bop. Because Robbie has said enough to us about knowing personally Brett Michaels and his more straight-laced way he was and versus all the rest of them, right?
Right, right,
And she in detail describes Brett's behavior, things he said and such, and I'm going, this doesn't add up to what we've heard about him, like, at all. Like, this isn't meshing. But
right.
So I just wanted to ask Robbie, like, could this possibly be true? Like, it could, but it was just odd. I'm like, she's like hand delivering this story that may be a lie that like we could disprove. Not that we need to, but just for our own knowledge, because we know a guy who,
Yeah, we know a guy. That is funny though. Let's
because
see.
a lot of people were debating this didn't sound right or whatever, and saying like it was a weird story how she told it. I was like, I don't know, but I know where I can find the
Her name wasn't Trash Panda, was it?
proof. No, but I don't mean to be rude, and I apologize to the stranger lady. I guess when she was 16, 17, she looked smoking. But the woman that sat there in that chair that day was not smoking in any way. In fact, you would have had to look hard to see if she ever looked smoking. I'm like, what happened to her? She did not age well. Like, whoa. Like, oh my God.
Wow.
You're like, I don't know. Were you ever hot? I'm okay.
Yeah, Frank, I just looked, but I can't it doesn't tell me which video was removed or anything. Sorry. Or
What was the
why?
date of the video that was removed?
April 24th. But you can't see it if it's removed, you can't see it.
Right. Nothing says it just doesn't exist.
Yeah. I'm just wondering if it's the one that I have recorded. Because I recorded all of them. But what's funny is he must be getting a couple removed because he's not posting a lot of crap. Like the past couple of days, it hasn't been, um, you know, he hasn't been attacking people. So I don't know. Maybe it was the one that I said I didn't read all of, and because the other day there was one. No, that was from the first. So I guess it was the week before. I don't know. I probably have it then. But that video is in his channel lineup. It was Rant's video, but that's still there.
I post videos about the birds. I hold up the phone, I video my TV screen, the birds, I say my commentary, I go viral. No, I'm kidding. I'm teasing because I don't. I'm just saying. I run around my
Is
house
it
like
April?
my kids and go, look, 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 I got 500 likes.
I don't know, Frank. The only one I see from the 24th was his Rant's video, but that's still there. Did he have another one? I don't know. No clue.
Oh, you know what I've learned? Not that
What?
anybody cares. Because I mean I barely care, but now upon sight, due to watching these damn birds for 4 months, I can tell different breeds, I guess they are, of fish apart that happen to be in that particular lake. So, like the difference between a crappie and a rainbow trout and a bullhead, because I started following a guy who does a daily recap for us of all the fun things the birds did all day. And
Right.
I just recently, he said, he he's from New York. He lives in New York. He lives upstate. And I went, "Oh, that's why I migrated to you. I knew there was something because he doesn't speak with an accent in any way, so that's probably why he's upstate." But I'm like, Dude, no
Hi,
wonder I
Ray.
like you." And he's been teaching us all about the fish because he's into fishing, and he describes it. And he goes, "Okay, okay, I'll slow it down. Let fish people, let's take our guesses. What is it? It's a rainbow trout." And I'm like, I'm getting like, and then we all write our score in the chat. It's
Right.
stupid. It's dumb. But it's fun when you are stuck, laying down for 23 and a half hours a day.
I hear ya. I hear ya. What time is it? It's 12:35. Do we have a giveaway to set up? Let me see. Uh oh, we got 7. I'm thinking of doing a 2-for-1. What do you think? Should I do 2-for-1? I think we should do 2-for-1. Don't anybody say anything. Okay, don't anybody say anything. No? Yeah? Okay. Okay. Let's go for it, Lisa.
They don't care.
Nobody wants two giveaways? Okay. Fine. I'll just keep it all to myself. Oh my gosh. Do it. Do it. Anything. Yes, yes. Do it. Let's do something. Hold on. Let's see what we can do here. Let's get this going since I always end up talking over it and making it last longer. Let's just get that up there right now. Free Karen, get it in there. Hashtag Free Karen. Do it, do it, do it. I can lose twice tonight, Todd says. Do we still have Tori? Is Tori still here?
Nope, not at all.
You're so quiet. I know you were doing things for Robbie. Did you get it done?
No.
Oh,
No.
thank you, and you're welcome.
There they go. Free Karen. Get
I
him in
tried
there,
to make
guys.
it. I tried to leave out tedious detail to keep it straight for those that don't know anything. But
I think you pretty much got it out there for those who don't
because
know.
it's hard at first when you use all the actual names because they all have the same last names and stuff. So it's hard. So I tried to let's dump out some of that to just to do a catch up. But I'm like, what am I supposed to
Cool,
watch
Frank.
after this is over? Because the
Uh,
Diddy trial's not going to be fun if I can't watch it.
Hales versus Preston. Which is gonna be like Hales versus Lisa, Rich, Robbie.
Yeah, but that's not every day cameras in a courtroom.
No, it's
Like,
not gonna be that at all.
right. It's not the same. That's the same with Diddy. For God's sakes, Diddy's case is the biggest case coming up. And like, it's going to be boring. It's just going to be whatever the news media tells us. Like, ugh.
Yeah.
Although going through some of the actual reports and papers that are available online to find about some of the people, holy crap, they are awful. The details of what has happened to people, holy shit.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know the guy's name. But you must have seen him at some point. There's a guy who's a famous hacker who's now on the good side, whatever. And so he's interviewed a lot by like CIA and whatever. And he knows
Strictly Noel Breeze. Thank you guys so much. Like you ladies so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
he's all about the dark web and stuff. And somebody just recently asked him, what was the most horrific thing you've seen? And I'm like, ooh, let me hear, because I like to hear horror. I always say this, and then when I hear it, I'm not
Right,
okay.
Pam? I'm telling you, I've been missing her.
I'm
She needs
like,
to come on and talk about these cases.
I get
Yeah.
so fucked up from hearing what I wanted to hear. I'm like, I wanted to hear this information, and now I can't sleep. Now I'm fucked up. Like, because he gave an answer that I'm not even going to repeat and tell the story to. I'm so
No,
not.
thank you again. Thank you.
If you have a normal brain, you can't
Goal has been
even
achieved.
comprehend the stuff.
Right.
You can't. You think you can. You think, sure, beating the shit out of people, stabbing, murdering, whatever. No, 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 no. Nope. 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 You cannot. Because when you hear it, you go, oh my God. Like, I always thought I could be one of those fucking online people that work for the cops or the FBI trying to find the bad guys online. And nope.
Right.
Nope. I can't do it. Nope. Not after things I've heard. No fucking way. I would no.
Just the way you're talking is funny. No fucking way.
know what it makes me want to do? It makes me want to join the fucking mob and rally them all up and go send them after all these fucking freaks on the internet and go, you want to know what they did? And then people go, oh, that's not allowed. We don't do that. That's right. And send out the people that can get the job done since our own government officials can't fucking do it.
Right?
That's what I want. Oh, did you see the new commercial? Well, it's new to me. I don't know how long it's been out. It was on all day for Kentucky Derby. It's about pet food, about dog food in the fridge and how healthy and great it is. And it has the guy from The Sopranos on it. And
No.
it's so fucking cute. He has his little um, cocker spaniel, and the one guy opens up the fridge and is like, "What the hell is this?" And they're like, "Oh, it's the fresh food." Da da da. Da." He's like, "For the dog," like, and he goes, "Pfft." And they all look at him like, "You didn't just say that." And the next thing you have is the point of view from being inside of a trunk, looking up at all of them, and they slam the trunk down. And then the guy bends over to the dog and he's like, if anybody asks, you were at grandma's all day. Because somebody talked bad about the dog.
Thank
It's
you guys.
cute.
I reset it. I reset it. Thank you. I saw one with the I had three screens up where we were, and the middle one had the Kentucky Derby on it. The first one had like a golf tournament on it. And there, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I see like these guys in suits, and then Paul Stanley, all dressed up in his Kiss makeup, walking down the hallway. I'm like, "What the hell is this? What's going on?" And there was no sound, so I couldn't hear anything. I caught it on video because I was filming, but I still have no idea what that was. That's why I thought you were going to tell me that you saw that.
Oh.
But yeah,
Hmm.
it was right next to it on a different television. But yeah, I don't know what it was. Stay, Martha, stay. So what was it? Turtle Boy got what? Turtle Boy got who was Turtle Boy in regards to Karen Reed?
Turtle Boy's funny. Turtle
It was
Boy has his own channels and social medias and got into the Karen Reed case and basically finds out, starts shit, finds out truths, pulls up documents, finds video, gets insider information. People anonymously go to him, what have you. He's done this on other things. And he started making a big stink
Hi Big
in
C.
the Karen Reed trial. And then people went after him and started threatening him. I wonder who it could be. But he's caught. He's gotten caught up in stuff. It's
He's the
he's a
one who brought her case to light.
he's helped get all the people who are, I don't know what you call them, protesters, fans, whatever, on the
Uh-huh.
sidelines outside of the courthouse, like
Oh,
his and that they all would wear pink because that was her favorite color. So like he's the one who got the ball rolling on this getting the popularity that it got.
right.
He really managed to do that, and he's unfortunately become a target. But
Well, Lisa, have you and everyone here talked about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductees yet? Actually, no, I have not talked about it yet. However, hold on. I actually have the list of the inductees. Hold on.
oh, you know what's making the rounds again on the socials is
What?
a clip of Sharon Osbourne from years ago,
Uh-huh.
where she goes, I don't know why. She says something like, people call me a bitch. And as soon as she
She
started
is a
talking,
bit.
right, she goes, because I'm very offended by that because I'm not a bitch at all. I am a big old cunt. I'm like, oh my God. She's like, so I don't know what they're talking about. I'm not a bitch at all. And I'm like, oh my God, I love her. I love her.
Sharon is very cool. Very cool. But when it comes to business, she's a bitch. She's an absolute bitch. And she should be. So, I mean, to me,
Right.
that's
And she has, and it's because her life has been on film for years. said a lot of things and been on the sides of a lot of people. And then as we've learned about their true colors, she has shifted sides.
Right.
You know, she absolutely has. She's gone a different route. Like she used to love fucking Diddy. Not
Oh
anymore.
yeah.
She used to be a fan of Kanye. Not at all anymore. Like so, and she's open about that. She's like, yeah, once they you find out about them, fuck that. And so people often like to post the old clips of her
Ow.
complimenting them, you know, to try and make the Osbournes look bad. And it's like, go ahead, try. If you have eyes, you can see how old it is. And if you see her today, you know, it's a different story. You know, that's no fault on somebody when you find out the truth and you were fooled.
Right.
And
Once.
believe me, if you fool her, she forever fucking hates you.
There it is. I was wondering where the hell it went. Okay. I only got a couple of them. So the performer category, hang on. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame Foundation pulled back the curtains on its 2025 inductees, a lineup of trailblazers, icons, and music legends who have shaped the ever-loving sounds of rock and roll. The inductees were announced live on ABC Sunday evening, which was April 27th, by Ryan Seacrest on American Idol. And the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductees, as America voted, live for the top 12. Okay, so whatever. So he announced some of them. I'm just going to give you the performer category, which is Bad Company, Chubby Checker.
Okay.
You know,
Fine with these so far.
Begin like we did last summer. Okay, Joe Cocker,
Sure.
Cyndi Lauper,
Sure.
I Just Don't Wanna. Okay, Outcast.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I guess.
Soundgarden
All right.
and the White Stripes. Mm-hmm. No comment there. Kendra? Hello? Anybody out there? Hello? Kendra's muted. Tori, you there?
They're putting different people together that don't match.
Yeah, well, they do that a lot, but the White Stripes, ugh. I don't know if they should. Well, actually, Outcast to me shouldn't be on there, you know, right now. I mean, there's so many other artists who could have been on there, you know, and deserve it before I would say before the Outcast. Like, they should kind of go in some type of chronological. No, she's still here. But they should go in some type of chronological order. And, yeah, I don't know. I just don't think I think there's other bands who could be put in there first, you know? So, I don't know, but that's the list. Bad Company, Chubby Checker, Joe Cocker, Cyndi Lauper, Outkast, Soundgarden, and the White Stripes. So, Iron Maiden, but they don't want it. And that's just for the performer category. Nope, I didn't say Tech 9. Nope, they're not on the list. Bad Company. Not camping. Yeah, so Kendra, where'd you go? It seems so quiet now. She was so talkative. Now he's gone. If she's muted, it's showing her muted.
Text her.
Everyone but the last three, right? She bop, he bop, and we bop. I bop, you bop, and they bop. It's gonna rain when we have thunderstorms. Oh boy. Michael get Kendra? I don't know. You got booted twice? Are you happy for Warren Zevon? Yeah, he's not in the performer category though. I just got down the performers. Looking for the next big case for us to follow. No, well, it shouldn't be Monica. I don't know of anybody who's done that, so I can't tell you. I don't think so, because I think people have left and they still won. Checking her OF page. Oh, okay. Shut up, John Caps. Oh, it's not even John Caps. It's Todd. I'm just so used to saying John Caps. There have been people that left and won. Yeah, I think so. Because wasn't John one of them? That's probably why I said his name. When I was pregnant with my son, I woke up every morning at 4:30 to eat PBJ sandwich. I watched because Hey Now and Brittany's Toxic. I don't know. I just don't think that Outcast should get it before other people, you know? They do that a lot. He still deserves to go in the Hall of Fame. Salt and Pepper going into it. Yeah, I agree. Kendra! Where'd you go? We got 98 entries, guys. Get your hashtag free Karen in there. I love me some salt and pepper. Peppy? STP, yeah. Well, she's
Hello?
still here. There she is.
Hello?
What happened?
Okay. Hold on one second. I need one more minute.
All right. 9 Chins, thank you so much. Oh my goodness. Let's see. I want to check. Where is my thing? Let's see. Check the mail. And boom, they're all gone. I fixed the list. And again, it's gone. Jesus, these people are lunatics. Ugh. I'm not going to
Okay,
bother.
I'm back. Oh God, that was hysterical.
What happened?
So you couldn't hear me, but I tried to tell you, but I guess it doesn't work. So I'm on my phone. I got a phone call. So the phone call supersedes the voice on here, I guess. I don't know, but it did.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
So I had to answer it. It was my son, Anthony. They're not home. They're at their father's. So I'm like, and he called last night at midnight he, over a spider. And so I'm like,
spider?
yeah. So he went to go to the bathroom and there was a spider on the toilet seat. He freaked out about it. And so he had to tell me about it and complain about it. And then it was the whole thing. He had to use another bathroom, whatever. So I'm like, okay. But, you know, when the phone rings at midnight, I'm up, first of all. But still, it's like, what's wrong? And so he called again now. And I'm looking at the time. I'm like, what happened now? And so they went to the movie theater and they come out and somebody had a problem and was laying down on the floor and the cops were there and a fire truck pulls up. So since Christopher is going into being a fireman and he's in these courses and all the training and stuff, oh God, you don't ever want to be around that because now you got to stay and watch it. And so their father is a looky-loo, is a nosy nort, way into people's business where he don't
Nosy
belong.
Nort. I
And
never heard that. Nosy Nort.
he does it annoyingly so, and then he likes to feel like he's done something magical because he's supporting his son who is to observe. Shut the fuck up. So now you got to drag Christopher away from some of this. Like you give him a few minutes, then like, okay, pull away from this. But their father tries to insert him in. And I'm like, no, you cannot. He is not a trained anything yet. Knock that shit off. So anyway, it's a point of contention here. So Anthony has to call me up from the car and tell me this bullshit's going on. This motherfucker. Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm laughing, like, oh God, you're gonna be there forever. I'm like, is the fire truck there? So I'm asking questions. He's like, I don't know. I'm at the car because they won't leave. So now he goes, oh, here they come. They're going to be wondering who I'm talking to. Sure enough, I hear my ex's voice. And he's like, who are you on the phone with? He's like, Mom. He's like, oh, what? You had to rat us out to Mom? And he gets all pissed. And he's like, yeah, because she understands my frustrations. She gets me, unlike you. And now they start fighting. I'm like,
Oh
oh,
my god.
and he's like, I don't understand what you have to call Mom for. So then I hear Christopher in the background go, well, there was canines there. And I'm like, canines? He's like, Mom would be interested in that part. I'm like, well, I kind of am. Why was there canines? Now I need to know.
Oh my gosh.
And so then Anthony's like, why were there canines? Now he's going back and forth between me and Christopher. His dad's like, I still don't understand why you have to call Mom all the time to tell on me.
It's a
He's
thing.
like, I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, yeah, because you're stupid and you annoy him. And he's like, I
Oh.
understand your pain. And he's like, no, you don't. Only Mom gets it. You don't. Meanwhile, Gary's downstairs. He knows I'm up here on live. And then my phone rang really loud. So he knew I got a phone call. And then I'm talking about, is the ambulance there? Is the fire truck there? So he comes running in like, what's wrong? What has happened now? I'm like, nothing. And so all this commotion, I had to use the ladies' room right before I came back. That's why I'm like, 1 minute, please. I got to pee now from all this.
Oh my goodness. Drama.
But it's
Drama.
hard because I hear you and I hear my phone call at the same time. So it's a lot of noise and I can't like lower you. But you also can't hear me. But I muted myself just in case you could hear me because I'm like, I don't know. And I don't know what is about to come through here.
Shauna just said Kendra reminds me of Roseanne Barr. Is that the first time you ever heard that, Kendra?
No, actually, no.
Really?
In college, how I wrote a paper once, the professor said something that way and was trying to make a joke, and I got them in trouble for it.
That's funny.
Because they didn't grade my paper properly because of it.
I love Roseanne too. Yeah, I hear you, Mike, on that. It's kind of weird how they're doing it, but you know what? There's a lot of people that it costs a lot of money to actually be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and there's a lot of people that have issues with it, so they don't really accept the nominations too. So,
So,
you know, I
is
don't.
there any more to the list? Or were you done with the list? I might have missed the rest of the list. I don't know. We got to White Stripes. Was that it?
Yeah, that was it for the performer category.
And then she asked you what you thought, and you disappeared
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
because you didn't love her like I did.
You have more of Anna Faris. Really? That's funny. The video she did with Tom McDonald was awesome. All right, we're at 107 entries, guys. My tummy's making noises. So get your hashtags in. Get your hashtags in. So we got most of the boxes out of the storage unit. And there's a lot of bakeware. There's a stereo in there. There's a what's that hover around, whatever that thing.
Hoverboard.
Hoverboard, yeah. There's a boom box. Lots of pots. There's a teacup. Well, looks like the start of a teacup collection. There's a bunch there, but
You need to watch those because some of those can be worth some money.
yeah, there's Corel dishes. There's Corningware.
Like salt and pepper.
Who else? Who else? What else? What did I say? What else? There's a football helmet and shoulder pads.
Ew.
There's a bunch of clothes that are name brand clothing. What else? What else? What else? What else? A whole bunch of witchcraft shit. No, just kidding.
That was in the first.
Actually, no kidding. There is some stuff there.
In the second one?
Yeah. No, the first one. I've combined them basically in two because one was just like a closet, you know.
Mm.
Oh, you know what I pulled out? Speaking of
What?
witchcraft, I pulled out my tarot cards. I have not touched tarot cards in forever. And so I was going through one of the decks and I was like just refamiliarizing myself with it. And it was one of the scary decks. And I forget, I asked it something about, I don't know, the cost of the eggs or like something neutral, nothing personal or anything like terribly juicy or like, is the world falling apart, something like that. And it's basically all these death cards came out and all this horrible shit. I was like, I'm putting this deck away. Every time this deck scares the crap out of us. And this was over something dumb like the price of eggs.
Oh my gosh.
But I yeah, I need to start doing my tarot.
Yeah.
No, Jennifer, no.
There
No
was
hello to you.
I got baskets to organize stuff like smaller baskets. So because there's a lot of there's glasses and stuff, but there's a lot of like chargers and stuff for phones and
Yes, I
everything.
have a couple
Bunch of
different
little
Lenormand decks. I counted them. We did this a while ago. There's about 10 decks that are down in the garage. And then I have a drawer full of decks, and there's like, oh my God, I just found money. Dude, I just found money.
how much?
I don't know. It's a wad of 20s.
A lot of 20s. Where'd you find it? What the?
I just opened up this fucking thing. It's under my I wished for money and I got it.
Whose
Shut
is
up.
it?
Dude,
Whose thing is it?
it's my stuff, my money.
Wow.
Finders keepers in this house.
Thanks, Michael.
I was going to do a rough count of my tarot cards. And in this drawer, I have like 50 or 60. I used all of 5, but I collect them
There
because
was
they're
a
pretty.
Michael comment though. Mine.
It's my money.
There's a bunch of
What did I do? Wow, how did that get there? I must have done it because nobody else opens this drawer. But I was missing money around Christmas. And I
there
thought
you
for
go.
sure somebody stole it or it fell out of my purse or something.
There you go.
But I guess that's
You set it in that drawer because you knew nobody else would go in the drawer because they're afraid of the cards in the drawer.
right.
So you put the
There
money in
you
there
go.
to stay safe, and then forgot you put the money in the drawer.
Totally
you go.
did. Well, thank God because I need money.
And then
Well, you
hope
wished for money, you found it.
I know. No, there's a thing in feng shui that for me, I will implore you all to give it a try. But for me, every time, hands down, it has worked. Your main closet that you use, so most likely in your bedroom or wherever your main closet may be,
Mhm.
clean it out, dust it, give it a
I was just
vacuum,
talking about it.
fold all the clothes, put them away, you store other things, neaten up the boxes, label them, do whatever you got to do. But clean and organize out your closet, your main closet. Okay. And then what it does is it brings money to your home. Now, you may have to wait. It's not the next day. I did this 2 weeks ago and I just found money. So it works, it does. But like, I can give examples. I did it once. I went through all my clothes. What do I not wear? Let me get rid of them, whatever. It was 4 or 6 weeks later. I got a check in the mail from the IRS. Oops, there was a mistake, and I got refunded back extra money by like $600. That was the first time I did it and said, oh, let me give this thing a shot. And I was like, it don't work. I cleaned my closet. I got nothing. So it could take up to 2 months, I would say. But for me, it's never been longer than 2 months. And the longer it is, it's usually more money. So give it a try. Why not? It's always good to clean out the closet and donate what you want, throw away garbage, whatever. But I've only done it with my main closet that I use, and that's what they say to do it with. I don't know if it works for every closet, but that's my story. So there you go. I mean, it won't hurt.
Can't hurt. Can't hurt.
So, and you'll feel better about it either way because you got a cleaner, more organized, useful closet. So now I almost wonder if subconsciously I'm continuously messing up the closet so that I can clean it to get fucking money. Because I've been, well,
I was just telling Gabe because I have shelves that are really high up. I'm like, I need you to go on top and straighten that out so I can fix the rest of it.
Right.
Can you follow my emails? Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
Mostly.
Yes, I can. If you somebody email me and I'll switch it over.
Switch what?
I will give each other their emails.
Oh.
My emails get lost, guys, because when I read them, I go back. I mean, I get lost. They just go back and they go back and they go back and they go back. So if one of you emails me right now, I'll switch it. I'll send it over.
Yep.
But when I get offline.
I've done that, forward it to the other person.
Yeah. What should we call it? Yeah, so what do we got? We're at 114. We got another one to do after this, so I'm going to get ready to draw this right now. Let's see. Let's take a look. So you get them in there? Get it in? Get it in? Get it in? It's Fuzzy Dice. I see you. You were the last package I sent out, Fuzzy Dice. You made it. All right, here we go. 114. 114, guys. Ready? 1, 2, 3. There we go. Cat teacher. Oh my gosh. Christine, Patsy said 9 chins. Heidi, George, Sandy, Silverheart, Lori, Lorene, Mary, Bonnie, Sandy. Sandy gets it. Whoop, whoop. Congratulations, Sandy.
Now, is this a 2-for-1?
Yeah. Well, no. We got to do another one. We got to draw again. 2 giveaways. 2 giveaways for what? Hold on. Let me get. There we go. Gotta get the right spot and find my pen. Where is my pen? Oh my goodness. You think of all the dang stuff I have done all day today, all the writing, because lawsuits have to be written. Where is my pen?
I don't know.
You get a lawsuit. You get a lawsuit. You get a lawsuit.
You get a lawsuit. You get a lawsuit. Well, someone thinks they're funny. They're calling my bluff, and
Tori got a lawsuit because she didn't break the law.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the dildo that went to space with all the women in it?
The dildo that went to space with the women in it?
I don't feel anything, actually. Sandy, if you could just message me and let me know your shipping address. I don't believe I have. I don't know your last name or whatever, so I can't tell if I have it or not.
You get a dildo, and you get a dildo.
Put your YouTube name as a subject.
Yes, please. Please.
Put the date, say winner, and then give her your shipping info.
All right, shall we do a different hashtag?
Oh, there you go. Somebody got it. My scroll's going so fast.
All right, we're going to do a different hashtag. Why? Because that keeps everybody, we interact that way. That's why. So let's do another.
Carol, they're astronauts. My ass. They're not astronauts. Actual astronauts in NASA are astronauts. Thank you. Those chickapoos are not.
Okay, you got to get this right, guys, but you got to spell it right. All right, hold on. There we go. New hashtag for the second giveaway. Let's do it.
Diana.
What did you say?
Diana.
Diana, dirty Diana. Yeah. I have the complete collection of All in the Family, Married with Children, Roseanne, Full House, Frasier, Scrubs, Third Rock from the Sun, Big Bang Theory, and others.
Yes.
Wow.
I
All in the
saw
Family. Can you imagine if All in the Family was on the air today?
Megan Kelly's. Yes, I did. That was funny as hell.
Megan Kelly, what?
Her take on those astronauts, as they call themselves, going up in the big blue dildo.
Are you talking about like Katy Perry and all them that went?
Yes.
I only know she went. Who else went?
God. Jeff
Avery's talking about.
Bezos' girlfriend, Lauren Sanchez, and she had to make sure that her little jumpsuit was zippered down because, she's always liking to show off them boobies of hers that are bought by her boyfriend.
Are you serious?
They're like,
Oh my
you
God.
go to space in a real spacesuit, you don't get to unzip it to flaunt the boobies. Okay? I don't know what your little spacesuit does for you
I'm
because
slow, Lisa.
your faces, your heads, there's no helmets, no covering, no gloves. You didn't go into space with all the proper gear, okay? You went to the edge.
They had to go get their hair done before they went.
Yeah, they had to have full glam makeup and blowouts and everything.
And Gail King was on it too.
Yes. And two other gals, I don't recall their names right at the moment.
Jared
And
says
they
I'm
got
slow.
to go and float around and come back. And it's just one of those, stop it. Now, read the room of what's going on, and people are struggling with all kinds of problems right now. And it's not the time to take $1 million flight and have us give a shit.
At least they didn't go looking for the Titanic in a tin can.
No.
True.
Well, I will tell you this. Gabe was telling me the story, and I was half listening because something was going on in court, and a whole bunch of stuff was going on. So all I heard was Katy Perry went, and I was like, ugh. And I got totally taken away from the whole thing. Like
she had to make space for space and hold up a daisy.
Yeah, and it never came up again. So that's why I didn't know.
She did it because she's promoting her stupid concert tour that is
apparently is doing really bad.
Yeah, she does not have, and she used to be somebody. She's a pop singing girly that could sell out the stadiums, and she's nowhere near close. And her performance is atrocious. I've seen video of it. It's like, oh my God, it's so bad.
Well, weren't you telling? I believe it was you that was telling us that she's trying to do like all this stuff, like that Pink does and stuff like that.
Right. She's copied all these other people, and people have now made videos of snippets of the other actual people in their performance, doing their concerts, looking flashy, doing their moves, singing their tunes, looking good, doing their thing. You don't have to like them or their music, but you got to appreciate they rehearsed and practiced, and you could tell. And then there's her, and you're like, oh God.
Is Lisa going to give away a ticket on the next rocket? No, but I will give you a ticket for the cruise. Oh my gosh. Going on a cruise. And we are doing a barbecue, guys. You just got to wait to find out when Tori's coming.
Because the world revolves around Tori.
Should I make etouffee for that?
But it's going to be hot whenever it is. So, I mean, if people like to eat that, and when it's hot, then yeah, I guess.
Eat it year round.
All right. Well, then yeah.
So people are waiting on you, Tori. You better chop.
Tori's having surgery Thursday to get her brand new knee.
And then does that mean you won't be going anytime soon?
Mo, you got to redo
100
it.
batches of etouffee.
I just came back from there. I was just in Florida.
Yeah, she was just here. But she only stayed for a week, so it's like she wasn't here.
But that doesn't matter because that's not about when this planned barbecue is. So that doesn't pertain.
No, but we got a lot done while she was here.
Yeah, we did some stuff.
Yeah, we definitely did.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
You know what we didn't do?
What?
Prepare a barbecue.
We didn't go get our relaxation on.
I saw that. It was in my face this afternoon. And I said, oh my God, we never did that. Oh, yeah. That's right. Don't forget, Tori's a mole.
Yep. I suck at being a mole. Otherwise, he would have known things.
Yeah.
It's a secret mole.
I suck at being a mole. I'm the worst mole on earth.
Obviously.
He had the audacity to say that I was his mole. And the thing is that he's saying this, and Lisa is laughing her ass off because it's like, if Tori was the mole, then he would know this, and this, and this. And he don't know shit.
He don't know nothing. I just can't wait because this lawsuit here not only has like copyright in it, it has the whole scheme of it all. So I'm like super excited about this actually.
He would know about this, and he would know about that, and he would know about this.
Mm-hmm.
And he don't know shit.
Yeah.
He knows exactly what he's told here.
Yep.
And what he's told here ain't shit.
He don't know nothing. You three girls can do the full spot on the cruise. Yes, we can. Where in Florida, Strictly? I think Strictly needs to go to the Villages.
Why Strictly
God,
moving?
there's so many fucking places to go in Florida.
There is.
It's funny now. People go, "Oh, I'm in Florida" or whatever, and they'll be like, "Oh, what coast? Where are you located?"
Mm-hmm.
I never used to reference Florida by the coast sides.
Oh yeah, East Coast, West Coast. Because you got the ocean and you got the Gulf. Everywhere. I don't loofah.
You don't have to loofah.
You don't have to loofah. I barely loofah. Mine's white.
White loofah.
I have a cool new loofah. That's not a loofah at all.
White
Maple
loofah.
and the Keys. We like the Keys too.
I forgot. I should have been particular about the color.
Yes, you should. What color is it?
Well, my loofah is like not in a ball shape. Mine, I ordered it from a woman in Brooklyn, New York, who makes hand stitches these things.
What color?
It's a navy blue.
Lisa, what's the meaning?
I have to look. Dang it. Hold on.
I think it was supposed to be a dark purple, but it came navy bluish. I don't know. But all I know is that it's made by an African American woman, and she did the best job of explaining it and saying, it originally was for people with her tone of melanated skin, but she was giving it all to her white friends. And oh my God, it does such a better job and all this stuff. And you guys need to use it. And I was like, I need a new loofah. I'll try it. It's washable and it's hand stitched and the whole thing. So I get this thing, right? I'm super psyched about it. I put on my little bit of my body soap on it and it lathers up. It saves you so much money in soap. Holy crap. It does an awesome fucking job. I went and I sent her a thank you about it. She sent me another free one and said like my review was so fantastic that it had actually been referenced by another new buyer.
You actually reviewed a loofah?
Yeah, it's a straight long piece. It's not a round ball.
Okay, I know what you're talking about, but you actually reviewed it.
Yeah, because then I was going to get the coupon. So but I ended up getting a whole free thing, and she thanked me and stuff. And I don't know. I like to do that when it helps somebody, makes a difference. But like,
No, that's
I
that's
rave
good.
about
That's
it.
great.
It's fucking. I have never felt so clean.
It was blue.
Yeah, it's a very dark,
Dark
like a navy blue.
Well, blue is the lowest level full swap. So it's those who can play well with others.
chocolate.
Just
The
saying.
what's the lowest level of full swap? That's how is there levels to that? You swap or you don't.
Well, full swap.
Right, but the lowest level, what does that mean?
I guess maybe it's only one couple and one couple.
Yeah.
Right,
So
but I mean, okay.
I don't know. It's not my lifestyle.
the purple is people who like to watch. But the
Ugh.
black, Robbie Kebabi, is a full swap. Those who say what the hell, let it go. And they go down. Means whips. Means so whips. Kendra rocks. Get those hashtags in there. We got 109 right now.
I know my husband was in here. Has he put the hashtag in to win me something?
We have to make a list for orange. I don't see orange on this list. There must be an orange on my list.
Now, see, there's another list, and orange means anything. Well, actually, it depends how you use it, but it either means anything, anytime, anywhere, or absolutely nothing, never, no how. Yeah, so it depends.
Something like that.
What color is
nothing
that?
type.
Orange.
It means all or nothing. It's
Legacy is 7 hours for me. Did you see the latest video? They're open. They are totally open.
they opened Easter, didn't they?
Yeah, they did an opening for like members and stuff, but now they're open to the public. Like they're gonna be open 7 days from now on. It's not their grand opening, but you know, it's so it's
open
amazing.
enough to make them some money.
Yeah, it's amazing to watch because it's like wow, you know, like I just remember when Brian was just so psyched about doing it, you know, and to see it open, I can't even imagine Lori right now.
And they have to open the doors to start bringing in money to help.
Yeah, well, it's all public now. They're open 7 days a week.
It'll do well.
Yeah, oh, yeah, I think so. It looks great. I mean, I can't even imagine what it's like being there, you know. But I think it's amazing. I want to tear up.
Anyone that goes needs to walk in the doors and start looking up at those gold plaques and find all the Get Swamped ones.
Yeah, there's a couple of them. I just think it's amazing for them to have continued on and made their dream come true, you know. And it's got to be really hard, like for Lori, you know. Yeah, I can't even imagine.
Gives you some closure.
Because
Yeah.
you kind of get it kind of helps sometimes you get not over it, but it helps bring you more of a peacefulness with it.
Yeah.
You know?
He didn't survive to do it, and she did that for him. And now she can be at peace that she did that. And I think it will take some of that. You know, she can look up and say, "Hey, bud, I did it for you. I got it. We got this."
Right.
Then and move on.
And every one of them too felt it. Like Jay, he broke down a couple times. You know, when they started letting some people in, and when things just started happening. You know, and then they show you him like making the circles on the concrete with spray paint or whatever, and just like and you know how excited he was about things all the time. So it's just you can only imagine how he would have been while all these things were being done and they were adding fish and And once they started to put fish in the tanks, I mean, it was pretty fast that they got all the animals over there, and I mean, it opened pretty fast. I think from that one point, you know. But it's pretty cool, and it's really cool seeing the kids playing with the stingrays and stuff. And yeah, it's
I
cool.
wish I lived closer to it because that'd be a blast.
Yeah, yeah. But people are traveling all over the place, just from all over the place to see it.
Diddy Dave Aussie said, "Read his message."
Diana, can you ask Lacey to read my message to
One above
Kendra?
him, obviously.
Okay, hon. Where is it?
Kendra, have you heard about the Watts case in Colorado? If not, watch it, but not Netflix version.
Oh, I followed that one at that time, and I've actually watched multiple documentaries about that case. That
The
was another
Watts
one.
case?
Yeah, Chris Watts, piece of shit. And it's coming out, and recently there's been recent update about how the stupid girlfriend, I don't, was basically the one that murdered the children. He murdered his wife, and that we've been saying that all along. And that bitch got to run off and be hidden in the witness protection.
So the girlfriend and him killed his wife and children. She ratted
His
him out.
pregnant wife with a boy, and they had two little girls, like 5 and 3 or 3 and 2 or something like that. And he had a mistress who was, nothing to look at. And yeah, one night they were all killed, and then they were taken to this site far away in the desert, and the girls were put in oil canisters. It was horrible. And everybody was like, how could he murder his kids, these little girls? Like, he had seemed like he was very loving and
Oh,
caring
wait a minute. Was this
previously.
on a property like a farm or
No, he lived in a house in the suburbs, but
okay.
in Colorado, but the bodies were discovered elsewhere. But, he eventually said that, yeah, he did it, whatever. But we're like, no, you didn't actually murder the kids. The bitch did, and she should have gone down with them.
Right? So she
But
ratted him out or basically told the whole truth and she got immunity?
oh no. I mean, she didn't increment. She had nothing to do with it, but she thought he might all of a sudden. And then he admitted doing it, but he didn't. He protected the girlfriend.
Man, he's stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Terry,
stupid.
Kendra knows. Kendra knows about the email. There's Ed.
Have you watched the Fox Hollow documentary yet?
I watched the beginning of it. I didn't watch the whole thing.
Oh my God. There's new information on that.
I have not watched the whole thing.
And I hope that we get further details about it, because the information was just found and turned over to the detectives on the case, and I was fucking floored. I'm like, oh my God, I need an update. I need an update immediately. I'm too soon to this.
Hi, Janet Lee.
Okay, do you prefer well, for those of us that don't sleep, we have lots of time to watch lots of bullshit. Us vampires over here. Do you prefer, if you have to drive for like whatever, 4 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours, some long amount of time, to be the driver or be a passenger?
It depends.
Yeah, it depends. Normally, I would be the driver all the time. But these days, more so Gabe. Why?
I don't know. I'm just like doing a little poll about how people would feel like. So it's like, because it's purposely a long drive. It's not like locally or an hour or something, like
Yeah,
a
if it's
long.
right after I get off work, then I'm not driving. But if I'm well rested, I don't have a problem jumping in the driver's seat.
I mean, we went from Florida to New York, and Gabe wouldn't let me drive at all. So he just likes to drive. But we were the last time we did that, we were on a mission, or he was.
See,
I didn't know he was.
I can't decide what I prefer because I'm obviously usually with my husband. So if I drive, he becomes a silent passenger and he falls asleep. He doesn't talk. He's like no fun. But if, but if he's driving, he obviously has to stay awake and alert, and I can just yap his ear off. And I
Wait, you
play a
don't
new
sleep?
in the car. No, not unless I'm sick or something. I can't sleep in the car.
Oh, I can.
That's the whole purpose of not driving is sleeping.
Oh no, I can't.
Car sleep is awesome.
I can't sleep when Gabe's driving, but I can sleep when Tori or Jeff's driving. Oh, it was Jeff. It was Jeff.
No, when we went to the did you sleep when? No, you didn't sleep when we went to Daytona.
No, it was when we were going Otter Creek.
Yeah,
one of the times.
She slept when Jeff was driving.
Yeah, I went right out. My head went back. Tahoe is pretty comfortable in the back seat.
It is. Well, I don't know about the back seat. I've never ridden in the back.
No, it is. It's pretty comfortable. It doesn't feel like you're in the back seat.
Something about getting nauseous when you're in the back seat. I don't ride in the back seat well.
I've never had a problem in cars or on boats, so I'll be fine. What?
Boats.
Although I have an allergy thing that happens that pops my ears these days. I don't know how good I do on a boat right now.
I don't think a boat would change your ear pressure.
Actually, your equilibrium and your balance on a boat.
Yeah, that, but like as far as pressurization issues.
Trust me. My ears mess up.
It'd be more your balance stuff, if anything, but I think you'd still be fine.
Hopefully. We all know I'm not afraid of water. Here's a little something for your channel. Oh, thank you, Big C. Sleeping on a cruise ship in a hurricane. Did that.
Oh, I did that too. It's actually not fun to be on a cruise in a storm, I gotta say. It's a little bit scary.
All right, we're at 117 entries. Let's do this. What do you think? Should I draw? Should I draw now? Kendra rocks. Get your hashtag in quickly. I'm gonna do it. I am gonna do it. To avoid all the puking. Just don't look at the water. I couldn't be on a boat and not look at the scenery, you know? Boat, ship. Yeah, pick me. Quit interrupting. Let's do it. Let's go. Here we go. Boom. There we go. Oh my gosh, Terry. It goes so fast and it slows down. Lori, Gary, Will Jack, 9 Chins, Shauna, Lynette, Kathy Wood. Oh my gosh, Kathy wins so much on our channel. I have like 3 things in a package that went out for her. Nice, Kathy.
Go, Kathy. Go, Kathy. Go, Kathy.
Go, Kathy. Just so you know, all these are going to be mailed out on June 1st. June 1st, these go out because I just did shipping. Unless for some reason I'm sending out crystals, then I'll send them all out. But or what I have, I'll send out.
Wow.
But we're doing these giveaways once a month because We seem to be doing giveaways every time I'm live, which is fine. Love it. Love it. I'll do it as long as y'all want them. But yeah, congratulations, Kathy. I definitely have your address.
No, people don't like free stuff.
Sometimes I wonder.
What if they like free stuff?
Uh-huh.
Why wouldn't they?
I don't know. I didn't say it.
Some people just sometimes act like, oh my gosh, you want me to, I got to give you my address?
Oh.
That is very upsetting for people. I know. It's.
No,
I
I'm
gotta
going to
say is,
magically get your free shit to you without your address.
yeah, like, are y'all all in witness protection? Do you think we're coming to stalk you? What's gonna happen?
Yeah, some people. No, I haven't, Kathy. No, some people do. They can, they'll complain if it takes too long. But these get shipped out once a month. But I do know some people that didn't receive theirs from before that. So, and it was probably because it got caught up. The way I started to do it was with my shipping stuff, and then I don't know, like 2 or 3 weeks ago, I said I'm going to do it once a month just so that I can get it done and taken care of. And I just did it, and it's the first week of the month, so it'll be the first week of the next month that I send them out. So hopefully everybody will be getting them. Keep trying until I win. Thank you. Yeah, see, my nose is getting stuffed and my ears are starting to fall. It's the weather, man. We're supposed to have thunderstorm. So it's probably real, mostly cloudy out there, and it's 85 degrees. So I can feel the humidity. It's getting there. So, Kendra, you're talking about like moving to another state and changing. Where are you going?
I'm not going anywhere right now. I'm just
Okay.
saying. I had that thought when you talked about a license change. I went, oh my God, I don't want to ever do that.
Right, I hear you. I hear you. Well, guys, I want to thank you all for hanging out tonight and being here and checking out what's going on. Kendra, I'm so glad you were here. Everybody seems to be real happy that you're here talking about this case.
Because I rock.
You do. You rock. Kendra rocks. Everybody tell her she needs to be here more often. And Tori, you there?
Yep.
Are you going live tomorrow?
Don't know yet.
You don't know yet?
Yeah, I got to balance out some stuff that I need to get done. Pre-surgery stuff.
All right. Well, I'll be live tomorrow. Because it's Sunday drama night. And we'll see what the hell happens tomorrow. But I will be on around 10 o'clock. So we could do Jerem Aslibs, Lisa. We could do that tomorrow. Yeah, we could do that tomorrow. I know I'm going to talk about. I'm pretty sure he's going to mention the same crap that I was going to go over about that Russell video that I watched, because he always repeats stuff anyway. So we'll go over whatever the drama is for the day. And I do want to mention another case that was actually an anti-slap case that was won. I know we touched on it the other night, but I looked into it more. And we'll see. So I'll be back tomorrow night at 10. Hopefully Tori will be with me. I don't know if Kendra will. That'd be a nice surprise. But Robbie will be here. And thank you all for hanging out and supporting us again. And definitely go and check out our mods channels because they're all awesome. Tori, what number are you at?
I don't know.
Well, we get Tori.
I have no clue. I didn't even check today. Hold on.
We need to get Tori to 1,000, and then some of our other mods are looking for hours, viewing hours, and subs. So go support them, guys. We got a lot of great people here. They're fabulous people. Right on.
Kind of stuck at 8:40, 8:39, 8:40.
Very cool. You'll go up and down.
Yeah, sometimes the trolls mess with it. And I
Yeah.
know this because all of a sudden I'll get like 5 subs in one day, and 2 days later I lose exactly 5 subs.
Yep. Yep.
So I know what they're doing. I'm not stupid. Not as stupid as they are.
Alrighty, guys. Thank you again. And we'll see you tomorrow. Have a fabulous evening, sleep, or day, depending on where you are. And prayers to everybody who needs them. And for those
Good
who don't.
night, all.
Good night. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
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 Ta ta.
Bye.
Toodaloo.